Alright, and let's go live. Hello everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, and today I am back with Rem in the DM's workshop, and today we're going to be taking your questions, your thoughts, your feelings, nay, your emotions as well, and answering them in one giant Q&A session that we like to call the Dungeon Master's Workshop. Rem, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I finally got a Sunday to myself where I can be lazy.
Yes. Talk about D&D and drink beer and hang out. That sounds good. Fantastic. So what we're going to be doing is answering your questions. So on that very note, of course, if you do have a question for us, now is the perfect time in the week to ask it to both myself and Rem. Currently the document is 21 pages long of questions that we've answered so far in the Dungeon Master's Workshop. So there's a whole lot of it going on. Meaning, hell, we're ready for anything at this point. So I've got the list up here. The best way to ask a question to my good self and to Rem, of course, is to do at Encounter RP. At Encounter Roleplay here in Twitch chat, or at Insomniacs Inc. And then we will spot them, we will see them, we'll add them to this list here, and we'll get them answered as soon as we can. Obviously, we'll be doing these in order, so you can see how long you gotta wait for, basically. Let me add in Rem again. There he is. There we go. Fantastic. So yeah, anything is good, really. You could just ask us to discuss a topic, or it could be a specific question about a character that an idea that you have, your own DM game. No question is too stupid for us, we like to say here. And of course, it's for both players and DMs. Beginners are welcome, so if you feel like you got a dumb question, like people are going to think you're dumb for asking it, then fear not. They will. No, I'm kidding. Fear not, they won't. And they've all been beginners, players at some point or another, as for ourselves as well. So, I mean, we understand. We understand. How do you bake cookies? I think there's probably a good tutorial online. I don't know, like a Julia Childs recipe maybe. Gordon Ramsay, pretty excellent. Check out Pinterest. Pinterest is the place to do that. But the question from Tortly, what's this one first? Here we get this. So Tortly asks of us, what is the best way to make maps or get maps for an online homebrew campaign in, say, Roll20? I love the writing aspect of any campaign making, but I have yet to figure out how to do maps. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, Rem, I mean, you've made a few of your own maps before, and you've taken some bits from Roll20 and online places. What do you find the best place to do that?
Probably like the simplest thing you could probably do to make a map, if you're not very familiar with editing software like Photoshop or GIMP, is to just find like some kind of overlay of a map that would work, and to add a grid to it. A program like GIMP works. It's perfectly free, and there's a little program where I'll have to pull it up and say it, but without getting into all that. Feel free to hand draw it on graph paper. Oh yeah, that's always like the first step to do. It's because sometimes if you want to use maps, I've done it where I draw it out and I say, here's what you see, where I have an easel with a dry erase board on it and I draw it on that. Right. And just they can say, well, I want to go to that room, and they point to it instead of having to actual lay out the big thing. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, the first thing that you can do is if you can, squiggle some lines onto a piece of graph paper, then you can easily scan it in and then put it onto Roll20. I've seen people do that, and it looks really good, actually. It looks quite effective. The other thing as well, if you're just looking for them, you can make maps in Roll20. There's a ton of free resources that they have there that you can use. I believe, like the second or third tab or so. There's you can search like rock, and it will give you like 20 different images of rocks that you can drag and drop. So you can actually build them if you're looking for like a digital map. Yeah, those are the two ways that I do it. The other way that I do it is just buy them. You can buy them from some places such as Heroic Maps that sponsor our stream and give us maps that we can use. But the problem with that is they give you very specific scenarios, and you might be, as your homebrew world, you're creating
other different specific scenarios. So if you're looking to add an extra room in, some of the maps come like already like made, so you can't really edit them very well. However, there are some really good maps on Drive for RPG and on Roll20 as well that give you kind of map packs, and you kind of build your own maps. So basically they give you pieces of maps, like puzzle pieces, that you can fit together, and they work in different combinations, so each map that you create of them is unique. That requires, of course, spending money, but it is generally a little bit quicker than having to hand draw it yourself. Depends how kind of familiar you are with Roll20 tools and the like. But I've definitely done that before, and that seems to have worked out quite well for me. Specifically for scenarios that don't come out in like packs that you can buy. World Maps, the website I use, is also Incarnate. Incarnate, which has recently had a really nice overhaul and update, which has gone made it look even nicer than it did before. So World Maps that's the place to do it, I think. Some people like swear by GIMP and stuff like that, or Photoshop, but if you don't have like the skill or the knowledge to do that, then I think a quick and easy way is like Incarnate, or like I say, getting maps from Roll20.
Incarnate is very good. I remember I found that it was instant bookmark.
Yes, yeah, very, very intuitive for like a beginner idiot like myself to pick up, and someone with no like artistic design skills. Okay, Ayami asks us, what is the weirdest thing you've ever encountered, both as a DM or as a player? That's difficult because I mean, weird is subjective, right? When it comes to encounter roleplay, most things are already a little bit weird. I once played a dinosaur in Rem's campaign, a T-Rex.
I was a streetwise mind player.
Yeah.
From the deep, dark urban area of Menzo Brands, and that was
trapped in a box for a while.
Yeah, trapped in a box.
Popped out for a murder mystery. I mean, really, any of the exclamation point quotes in the chat are some excellent examples of bizarre, strange things that we've encountered people saying or doing throughout the course of the shows. And there are like 250 of them or so. So, yeah, there's a lot of odd stuff. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about... This is a troll, of course, from Rakam. How do you feel about the invention of an SRD, the standard, the system reference document? Follow-up, can Rem please sing You Can't Stop the Beat? Interesting.
You could have bought your tickets to see me sing that about 3 weeks ago, but you didn't.
So, you didn't, so get fucked.
And we didn't want to get 30 seconds of Will's little thing muted while I sing my whole part. By Twitch.
Oh, man. I do actually really like, on a real note, I do like the invention or the implementation of the SRD for 5e. However, I don't like that for some reason no one knows what that means. Like when we were talking about the D&D Beyond, and everyone's like, it's got half the rules. I'm like, yeah, it's got SRD content. What's an SRD? Don't you understand? Oh man. Overall though, it's a good thing. Maybe a little bit limiting compared to other games SRDs.
The worst thing about it, I think, is going, okay, wait, this is in the SRD, so we can use it. This is not. We can't put that in there, or else we're going to get shut down.
Right, yeah. They'll clap you in irons if you use stuff that isn't from the SRD. What's a third? What is your opinion on isometric maps? There is a Reddit dedicated, which is apparently isometric D&D. I love the concept, but it seems a little bit of a hassle to use those maps in practice in combat. I'm going to go on to the link for it, because I don't think I've actually seen any.
They're really cool to me. I think it's a really neat idea. However, it looks to me like the map can only expand. It's like, I feel like if you're starting off in a corner of the map and exploring like that and never doing anything that turns you on and goes the other way,
right?
Then the map will work. So for like a ballroom or something like that. But some of the artwork for it is pretty cool.
Oh, looking at it now, that's quite interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've always found that there is a problem with 3D maps in D&D. There's always been a problem in combat with D&D because like height is a weird thing, right? It's difficult to put height onto a map. So maybe isometric is a way to do that. It feels like some of those old school like Dungeon Delver games, those kind of maps.
Oh, yeah. Like Diablo 2.
Like Diablo 2, yeah, exactly what I was thinking of. I don't use them myself. It seems like it would be a lot of effort to go to make that happen. But maybe if you had like a really important maybe like Castle Ravenloft, you'd want to put on a isometric map or something like that. If you knew that they were going there at the end of a campaign or something like that.
I think, is it an isometric map in that little fold out in the Curse Shrine? I can check. I can get my book.
Yeah, do check. I'm not too sure. It's been a little while since I've actually looked at the book itself. Also, thank you to Forinja for following. A Gentleman and Scholar. Pretty sure I nailed that one. Yeah, I'm not too sure actually. But overall, I mean, like the effort that I would go into, probably wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah, it's isometric.
There you go. Confirmed ISO.
And it works with that, I think, because the way this method is done is it doesn't show the whole big layout of the castle. It like splits a bunch of it up, because I can see the parts that I thought there'd be a problem with.
Yeah.
They just kind of separate. Like, here's this level, just that. I mean, it'd probably be easier if you just Google pictures of it rather than me holding it.
Yeah, probably.
And it's kind of a combination of both. Like, there's the isometric bit, there's a side view of it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think in practice, like, they're probably too much effort to go to create them for every like scenario. But if you had a specific scenario that you think they would benefit from, sure, why not? I mean, I do prefer the overhead view myself, of just purely straight up overhead. But yeah, looks like video game style, which you might like. Okay, so the next question reads, what is the biggest fuck up that you've been responsible for as a DM? Do you mean like me fucking something up in terms of like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that for that character or player, or do you mean like something that is screwed with the party? Usually any like big like errors that I make I just correct. But like veto like quickly if I accidentally did something.
Like a continuity error as well.
Right,
like I totally forgot that this thing is going on. The players, wait, what happened to so and so, so and so?
Oh, that guy, yeah. Exactly.
He died somewhere.
This day, somewhere around. Evil Roy, I suppose. Okay. Continuity errors get pretty quickly corrected, I think. As soon as I remember them or someone brings it up. I mean, TPK, I had the first one the other day on Monday with the beginners. They all went down. They fucked up pretty badly there. They got trapped out in ice, first level exhaustion, decided to attack a keep filled with badass guys that were really obviously difficult to kill. Then they lost a lot of limbs, fingers, heads, knees and toes, that sort of thing. That's been pretty bad. The party have fucked up in other ways, in other campaigns where like they take decisions that are like in your mind obviously wrong, and like, wow, you guys really fucked up on that one. Like, why did you not save that village of people? There was a scene recently in Storm King's Thunder where there were these ghosts trapped inside the burning houses. And I had all of this stuff planned that if they were going to like release these ghosts and send them free, and I just walked straight on by, and I was like, oh wow, you guys kind of fucked up on that one. That's going to come and bite you in the ass. Hey Ben, how's it going, my man? Yeah, what about yourself, Ram? Any big fuck ups?
Off the top of my head, my players usually do the fuck ups for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
They fall into the fuck ups that I've laid down for them.
See, I'm trying to think like what.
Have you given them like a crazy magic item that you shouldn't, that you realise after doing it?
That happened
shit.
one time. When very first time I played with my little group, I gave them like some kind of potion, or like they found that there was storyline was kind of cool now. There was like this tree that was like sucking out all like the life of everything around it, was becoming a big tree of its own. And it was like bearing this one single fruit that was like this super powerful because it had like all this life force in it. And when the players ate it, and I made them get like a +2 just natural AC bonus, because that +2 natural AC bonus just fucked everything up.
Fucked everything.
He said, I'm going to do some full plate now, and a shield, and this. So he had like, this is Pathfinder where your AC can get ridiculous. And he just, I could not hit him after that. I just could not hit him after the damn fruit.
Goddamn fruit giving that bonus.
Magic bonus armor fruit.
Goddamn magic fruit bonus.
Bonus fruit.
I've given out a few color items in the past. I've been like, fuck, you know. Usually it's like chat that gives them out, you know. So I'm like, fuck. But usually it works out okay. Usually the party fuck up for me, which is nice. Or you want them to fuck up, so that's always pleasant. Those are the ones that come to mind. It's always difficult to think of like specific examples, questions. Hey, and Taliana, the monthly protection money from your favourite minion. Cheers, thank you, Tally. Appreciate that. Salute you. Raise some drinks in chat. There we go. Hopefully the alerts come back on. The alerts have been like a little bit fucky all today. So let me get that question for you, my friend. Okay, so next question reads, I've been in a campaign with a group of friends as a player for a while. However, for the past 4 weeks, the DM has been missing in action, so we're considering starting our own campaign. I've never DM'd before, but have you been playing as a player for quite some time? What's some tips you have as a dungeon master? First off, we've got a whole 3-hour section on YouTube. If you searched Dungeon Master tips or something like that, or advice. But yeah, we can definitely try and give you some pointers here. So Remy's been playing for a while, so he understands the game, but never been a dungeon master before. What's a good kind of first step or something to keep in mind?
I'd say definitely remind the players that you're just stepping into the pilot seat.
Right.
And they, as decent players, should, like, if I know I'm with a DM who's very new, I tone down on like my sporadic nonsense kind of crap that I do. I play a little more straight-laced and a little more like, I buy into their hooks a lot. I don't be that guy, which I'll be that guy all the time when it's like my good buddies who've done it all the time, because we just try to pick each other's stuff up. But all of it's just let the players know, hey, this is new for me, so understand.
Be aware, Yeah, I like that. Ben gave a party a helmet teleportation, realised how powerful it was, made it curse, and turned a guy sold into a hate enemy. Nice. You always correct the errors that you make as well. I think setting those expectations for the players, like, guys, I'm new, just so you know, and they're like, you're going to fuck it up and whatnot. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You'll be making mistakes constantly throughout your DMing and playing career, and it doesn't really matter. And you'll learn from the... You'll learn from those mistakes, As soon as you fuck up, you'll fuck up a little bit less the next time, and you'll fuck up a little bit less even more the time after that, and so on and so forth. So it's not something to really, to worry about too much. Not something to fear. Never fear fucking up, and don't fear the players worrying about you getting rules wrong or making bad calls and so on and so forth. It's always like a positive thing to get things wrong, in my opinion, because then you can get them right again in the future. That's the only way that I've ever learned any kind of math in my life. The limited amount of math which I possess within this brain has only ever been butchered into my brain, but via the medium of continuing to do it over and over and over like a masochist. Thank you to Undulating for following as well, Gentleman and a Skull. I'm going to try and go fix these alerts here in a second. Don't worry about that. Someone's giving me all the gold. It's lovely, guys. Thank you. Also, make sure that you got an understanding of the rules of your role as a dungeon master. There are plenty of great guides online for that, and I think just watching other groups and having spoken with your DM and having watched him learn, try and emulate the good things that you like that he's done, and if there are any things that you didn't like that he did, then you can do them differently. It's an opportunity to kind of take the seat for yourself and enjoy the role. Ben is right about talking to players. Big one. Big one. To not only, tell them that that you're new, but tell them what kind of game you're looking to run. Tell them what kind of game, ask them what kind of game they want to play, and that is generally what we call kind of setting expectations, or I've got a podcast called Roll for Podcast, which we talk about Session 0, I can link you to if you're interested, where we spend an hour just talking about how to make a Session 0 work for us, and what that means to us. But that just basically means setting those expectations. What do you want for the game? What do I want for the game? How am I going to be making decisions? So Ben's talking in chat. He's the dungeon master or the keeper for Tuesday's Call of Cthulhu campaign, and he said to all of us, "I'm going to be running a very rules-like campaign. It's going to be very story-driven. We're not going to be running many Call of Cthulhu actual rules, so don't worry about that." And so immediately we knew that we didn't have to go and swat up on all of the rules. We knew that we were going to be running a story-heavy campaign, so to focus on our characters and so forth. Yeah, so that was immediately like helpful for the players, and it would definitely be helpful for your players. If you have an idea of the type of game that you want to run, or you could compare it to, like, I'm going to be doing it a little bit like, that guy did it, but I'm going to be making a few changes. A couple of things are going to be different, such that you guys are aware. Then they aren't going to be, so kind of confused, or there isn't going to be any what the hell when you actually take a ruling that is different. Anything else from that jumps to mind for new DMs, just things that you want to be aware of? I think the beast winged for following as well, a gentleman and a scholar.
I say don't be afraid to end the session.
Right.
Don't get caught up like I'll do all the time when I'm playing in real life, and just keep going. Feel free to just say, we're doing a 2-hour session, or we're going to go until it ends, and then that'd be it.
Yeah, no, I agree. You don't need to run gigantically long campaigns on gigantically long sessions. If you're not comfortable with that, feel free to start off maybe with like a one shot, maybe just like a shorter 2-hour session or whatever, or just a session where you're creating your characters and stuff like that. Just chatting about the game that you're going to be playing, chatting about the kind of experience they're going to be having. It sounds like you're just going to be spending forever sitting around and talking. But honestly, the best campaigns that I've played, we've spent weeks talking about the game before we ever sat down to play a session. And that's always worked out well for us. Thank you to Twingu for following, a gentleman and a scholar. Why, he is good, sir. So talk about it first. Anything else I think we'll probably cover on that YouTube video, the Serious DM's Workshop, and the Roll for Podcast episode. If you have more specific questions as well, feel free to ask, but I think that's some general advice there. Billy Sage asks, when you level up with a class and you choose some spells, can you switch them out for others later that day, or are you stuck with them forever? No, you can switch them out. I believe usually with almost all, I want to say all, but usually when you take a new one, you can replace one of the older ones with the new one, right? Am I right in that, Ron?
For which class is this?
It says a class. So any spellcaster.
Yeah, I think except for depends on, I know clerics and druids are very much like that, because it's after every long rest or 8-hour rest, it's like you push back into your spell repertoire and you pick new ones.
Right.
Some characters though, like they instead know the spells, or it's just I think it's class specific, but most of them,
I think I know wizards can do it. I think there might be some classes that don't. Basically, the column that you're looking for is spellcasting. Unless you're a wizard, okay. Oh, I guess because wizards do the weird spellbook thing. Yeah. That makes sense. Fuck wizards, man. Basically, look under spellcasting, and it will tell you when you learn new spells, you can replace one, or it will say something else if not, But look up there for the exact wording on that one. Ayami asks, how exactly do you come up with a campaign? It's a good question.
Very good question.
that's. I mean, usually you've got an idea in mind, right? So when you're, I guess maybe you don't. Maybe you're sitting looking at a blank piece of paper. What do I want to do? Usually, I just pick theme first, or like setting. Like I want to run like a kind of like a steampunk campaign. I want to run a jungle theme campaign, or a heroes, spells and sorcery campaign, or a Wild West, or a undead campaign, something like that. Usually that's how I start with the kind of groundworks of, or with like Imperator, I want to run an Ancient Rome campaign, or with Beginner's Play, I want to run a pretty standard fantasy campaign for the beginners, Adventurers Anonymous, a low magic campaign. That's where it usually starts, I think. And then from there, everything else just sort of grows around it. So you might have an idea, I want to run a steampunk campaign that is all about airships, and then you bring in, okay, it's going to be all based around an airship. Then you're playing Dawnbreaker, Skaggs Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, I don't know, where else does that come from? I think really you just gain inspiration from somewhere, right? From whatever is in your brain at the time, or something that you want to direct towards. Is there any more science to it than that?
Yeah, I've noticed the weird thing for me is when writing for an RPG like Dungeons and Dragons, it's a totally different process than when writing your own kind of fiction for a story or a book or whatever, because when you write for your traditional media, I found you create your characters first. You kind of have an idea of a setting, but you have to build those characters and make them be that good. You know, they have to carry it through. Most all the good movies out there people love, it's the character in the movie that makes it so entertaining. But with D&D, you don't make those characters.
Right.
Players do. So you want to create I found a good overall concept, maybe just like a few of the key points, but leave a good bit of it open for your players to affect. Maybe even do part of it, and after that session 0, you then go back to your original stuff. And now that I know what the characters are, I can take what I know from what they wanted to create and work that into the story some more. So it's maybe like if you have your session 0, give for like a week's worth of time to go back, doctor up the campaign. You can even do that with some published ones as well. We're running the Tyranny of Dragons bit with my group, and I've tweaked it a lot, which you kind of have to tweak it a lot. It's full of inconsistencies and very, very overpowered encounters.
I think Ram's right, and a lot of people work in different ways, right? So some people will focus on writing a setting first, or thinking about a setting, or some people think, this is the kind of storyline that I want to run, or I want to run a campaign about, villains or something like that. Wherever it begins for you, I think it gets fleshed out quite quickly the more that you work on the initial idea. Have a somewhat cool boss situation and somehow see if I can get the characters involved in the bad guy's plans, hit the person that starts they want to work as a bad guy. Really basic, but his work. Yeah, there you go. What's up, Adric? How's it going? Yeah, if in doubt, start at a tavern as well. I think it's basically just the start of where the set piece that you want your players to be playing in, and also you could think about what kind of story do I want to tell. Do I want to tell a tale of tragedy? Do I want to tell a tale of heroes? So on. Hopefully that helps, Yami. I have a nice group of plaguers, or players, I guess, who like tabletop RPGs, but it's hard to get them all together. So I'd like to play one-session adventures. What is your experience, and what game system would be best? Okay, so if you already have an idea of what your campaign is going to be, hey, something clever about 7 months, Adric, a gentleman and a scholar. I salute you, sir. Let me raise some drinks for you there in the chat. It really depends on what kind of games that you enjoy, right? What kind of settings do you enjoy? Do you like fantasy games? Do you like sci-fi games? You can ask them what they'd like to play as well. Generally, if you're looking for fantasy, I'd go for like D&D5E. I straight up think that it's very easy to learn. A lot of people really enjoy it. It's the world's most popular role-playing game, as I like to say. Generally, I've had very good experiences with 5e. One-shot adventures are a great way to get involved in a group, right? You don't necessarily want to launch off with the full campaign, we did Adventurers Anonymous. I think we ran one shot before we actually got playing. And I like the idea of doing one shots before a group, especially if you're meeting new people as well. But if you know what campaign you're going to be playing, or what setting you're going to be playing the game in, then I'd stick to the same setting of the one shot that the campaign is going to be in, if that makes sense. So if you know that you're going to be in a D&D 5th edition campaign, then my guess would be that to continue doing a 5e one shot first of all. What's up, Valanda? Horror games are good for one shots. Yeah, you can kill everyone at the end. That's always fantastic. Any other good game systems for one shots, Rem?
I've always thought if you want to try some one shots out, get like the little starter kits for a lot of these RPGs out there. They tend to be quick little one shots with pre-made characters and stuff like that you can just hand them out, have people play, and ask them how they liked it. And if you find a system that they get really into, then heck, just go with it.
Yeah. Asking them is always a good way to go. But in terms of you asking me what game system would be best to play like a campaign in,
It's difficult to say, really. I really enjoy 5th edition. I'd go for that. If you're looking to play a sci-fi kind of campaign, you could play Open Legend. You could play Faith, which is on Kickstarter currently. Like, we're sponsored by, so go click that link if you want to check out Faith. And yeah, with minis as well. You could play the Scythe system games like Numenera. Numenera's a fantastic, good mix of sci-fi and fantasy. What else is a good one-shot? I don't know. Really, anything you like, like a Call of Cthulhu, for instance, if you're going a horror. But really is whatever your players want to do and what you feel inspired to do and what you like doing and what you find easy to do. That's a lot of things. But yeah, that should work. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let me... Yeah, nice plug. Got him. Yeah, Rem's hard on vlogging the camera. Oh my god, there's minis.
Miniatures with toys.
Little toys, yeah. Little toys for little boys. That got creepy. Alright, next question. It's been a few years since I've played as a player. Now I want to prepare for a group as a DM, but I have no experience as one. Do you have any advice for beginner DMs and tips to always keep in mind? I think we touched on it like 20 minutes ago or so, so if you missed that, then the plugs that we suggested were the YouTube link, and you can find a beginner's D&D tips 3-hour video there, and there's a podcast called Roll for Podcast with similar type things. But yeah, general quick beginner tips and advice. Talk to your players, have good communication, ask what they want, what you want, set up good like expectations of what your game is going to be. Let them know that you are a new player, a new DM, you haven't played in a while, you never DM'd before, so you should expect that you make some mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and keep it simple. Don't overwork it. Don't try and create this brilliantly complicated plot, because usually they don't work. Usually, like clean and easy plots work better, especially if you're a beginner, because otherwise things can get very convoluted and confusing for players. Yeah, good session 0, exactly. Yeah, often overlooked the session 0, but much needed for many a gaming group. Yeah, anything else there, Rem, for the beginner tips?
I'd say that session 0 is probably the best thing
biggest
about
one,
it.
yeah.
And it had to be really relaxed. Which, when I sit down and have to help all these people make new characters, it turns into a session on its own. Especially we only got the one handbook.
Yeah.
And that just it's fun. It's fun all the way on its own. But you got to probably let them know you might not be able to play tonight. Have to wait next week or something.
Right. Yeah. And folks are mentioning like modules in chat and stuff like that. It's always a good place to start. If you don't want to write, you can always pick up a...
We've got one-shots.
That's mine. We got one-shots out the wazoo. Check them out.
So many wazoos.
So many wazoos, all of them are filled with one-shots.
We need just one giant wazoo. Campaigns.
We really need to filter our wazoos down. and
categorize the wazoo.
Retag the wazoo into one gigantic wazoo bazunga. Pretty safe to get a question down here, my friend. Starter DM, 3 sessions total under my belt. Question: how do you keep track of the barrage of rules? And at what point do you say "fuck it, homebrew this and that"?
Fuck it, homebrew this and that all the time.
Fuck it, homebrew this and that. Yeah. Not necessarily at homebrewing, but house ruling is a big thing with me. Pretty much as soon as the rules are getting in your way, then you can house rule it. If they're continuing to get in your face and they're just fucking you off, then there's no point to a rule that annoys you. Fail to roll my die for following a gentleman and a scholar, and gets in the way of any fun. So, pretty quickly for myself. I know some people that would much prefer to, delve into a book and look it up for 10 minutes and then find the official ruling. But I can't really be bothered whilst you're in a session. Like, do that stuff out of session and then, come back. This session, we looked up the rules, hooray. But, when it comes down to, like, you might have 2 hours to play, 3 hours to play, however many hours, you, the difference between looking up a bunch of rules, it could all add up to half an hour. And for me, it's not worth, it's not worth that time, I'd rather play for another half an hour than be looking at rules for half an hour. So yeah, pretty much I hand wave house rule things pretty quickly, because fuck the rules. They are only getting in my way. Get them out of my way! But yeah, some things are important to look at. Obviously, like the basic rules, stick to them. But Afix just subscribed, gentlemen, and a skull. I salute you, sir. Raise some drinks in chat, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. What are my thoughts on pants? Well, I'm at all times. Pants, to me, are very different to pants to you. Anything else to add in there, Rem, about the house ruling?
Yeah, I say if so, add a house rule, especially if sometimes it feels like either the realism isn't quite there,
right.
Or one of the neatest things I've always wanted to try out, it says in the DMSG, is like there's like different modes of survivability. There's like the super hard mode where you take a long rest in the game and you're back to full HP. No, this like hard mode is you have to take like a month's rest to get back like to ultimate full HP, just because it's like it's supposed to be how you would really take wounds. And I always wondered, what if I just go balls to the wall?
Yeah.
Deadly.
Go full like Darkest Dungeon mode. Mm-hmm. New game +1. Yeah.
Go Dark Souls on everything.
Yeah. I like that idea. Yeah. Okay, so Cyrus asks, do you have any tips? I have many. On implementing audio in your games. I've been quite impressed with how you use audio in your games. Do you use playlists, a program, or some other tool for it? Yeah, I use tabletop audio mostly when it comes to audio, and I have a working knowledge of each of the tracks on tabletopaudio.com, which I can link to here, as such that I know when a good time to play a certain track is. Or to change the music and whatnot. They're just usually looped, and I set like 3 or 4 in a loop, and they'll keep going, and I'll switch them manually if we change scene to a different place. I don't use... I guess it is a playlist, isn't it, actually? Yeah, tabletop audio, you just add it to a playlist. You can save them as well, you can export them. Yeah, that's what I used. How do you track your music, Ram?
Same thing, tabletop audio, especially for effects and background noises. And if you... Once you can always just go to YouTube and type in Epic Fantasy playlist or Creepy Dungeon playlist.
Oh, yeah.
Or just open the window to my house and listen outside for the Scary Swamp playlist. It's whatever you want.
Yeah. I like that, yeah. Okay. What's the most emotional campaign I've ever been in? Probably either the Samurai Sigil or... Maybe the Hive. I mean, the Hive had a really sad episode, but the rest of it wasn't like super emotional. I don't think it was really bad. Like really, like oh my god. But I think Samurai Sigil, I want to say, as a player, was our home game. Oh wait, well maybe it's Adventurers Anonymous. No, Adventurers Anonymous is pretty like damn tear provoking at times as well. So it's either one of those few, or our home campaign that is still technically running. A Song of Ice and Fire. What about you, Rim?
Usually I DM a lot as a player. I know on here, the very first Cold Harbor season, because at the very end, my character Tater accidentally gets his daughter killed, and then I get like one of 5 Beth who like leaves me to die, and I don't know what made me more upset, the fact that Beth got me, or the fact that I accidentally killed my character's daughter. It's like, this is not a good way to end.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I think Cyrus, you're right. When it comes to it is another thing that you have to be tracking in terms of when you want to play tracks. Welcome, Pale Lord. Just finished his first group today. Down as close. You need to kill him. Nice. Yeah, that was an emotional campaign for all of the emotions, not just like sad emotions, but you feel angry, you feel betrayed, you feel Oh man. I'm working on homebrew stuff for shits and giggles. Okay. And I want one of the NPCs to be cursed. I'm just not sure how to curse them. Do you have any ideas? Well, it's pretty open question. How to curse someone?
Maybe a cursed item that they think is giving them good luck, like a ring or a necklace, but when they swing it just doesn't do as much damage as they think it does. But you don't tell them that. You just mark it down.
We looked at a curse item today, which was the eye. The God, I forgot what it's called now, but it was an eye of some kind. And there was also the Maul of Sieges, but don't do that one. If he's cursed, consider what he's cursed by. Is it a demon that's holding him? Is he cursed by, is it a real curse? Or is it just, like a local witch who's cursed him? Is he growing warts over his face? Is he cursed to have to walk the realms eternally? He can never die. I don't know. There's plenty of places you could go with curses. Maybe he did something bad, Are there any previous edition tables and charts that I like? I don't like tables and charts straight up, so...
And charts are for losers.
Yeah, fuck tables. Fuck charts, man. It's all about stools. That's where it's at.
That's right. Stools and bars.
Stools and bars, fuck them. Okay, so, can half-elves mix with humans, or only mix with humans, or can they mix like half-elf gnome? If so, what would the race traits be? I mean, like, in theory, right?
I've always thought a neat little thing that they could have done instead of creating half-orcs and half-elves. Yeah. Just beneath every race, put like the half template, and for human there isn't one or something like that. So if you want to do a half-breed, I'm going to take the elf's template and take the dwarf's template,
right,
and you just combine both stats.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought that would have been a really neat thing for them to have done.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at like homebrew it, homebrewed, you could do, like take some of the stats from one and take some of the stats from the other and just meld them in, like Rem's saying. Take a couple of the, like if they have dark vision, give them dark vision, 30 feet instead of 60 feet, something like that. I'm sure there've been homebrewed versions of them. I don't know if it's like necessary to have all of the different mixes, like there. But in theory, yes, they could do it, and you could probably quite easily homebrew it, I think. Yes, unless Kenders were born. What is my favourite house rule? I don't know, really. Specific questions are difficult.
See, because I'm trying to figure out which of my rules are house rules and which ones are real rules.
Yeah.
Which ones do I think are real rules? But
usually it's the rule, we could call it the rule of dick. The rule of dick, I shall call this one. And if you are a dick, then you do not play in the game. Unfortunately, they haven't printed that one. I'm waiting for the 5e errata, to come out of that. That's probably my favorite house rule, the rule of dick.
I'm trying to think of some of mine. Some people do the house rule where it's like if your phones are out, then... Well, I remember when I was having to record sessions, I tried to keep them PG-13, so like no F-bombs, stuff like that. Anytime that someone would drop one, it's like, boom, disadvantage, like negative inspiration on them. And I'd like tally it all up, and my buddy Brandon, he ended up with like 8 of those damn things. He just got hosed in one fight. So I just stacked them all at him at once. And it'd make him mad too, so he'd keep cussing. It was even better. It's just like, just keep giving me this ammo.
Oh yeah, but everyone's just making stuff up. You said it already. Well, the problem with specific examples is when you play D&D every day for years, then specific examples become very difficult to remember because there's so many games going on. Like, what is your favourite thing of this? What is your favourite thing of this? It's always a little bit difficult to remember after a while. Like, sometimes I think of them, like, if this question ever gets asked, I'll remember it, but then I forget it. Another good house rule is like if there's like a fireball going off and there are 10 minis or like 10 enemies of the same type, I'm only going to roll a saving throw once, not going to roll a dice 10 fucking times. Yeah. You can't make me.
I play a lot of wargaming. I'm used to like chucking, dice at once.
My friends want to play Zelda. Sorry, Link from Zelda. They want to play Zelda? It's pretty easy. They want to play Link from Zelda in our D&D campaign. What race and class would they be?
A Drow Ranger. But like it's like Twilight Princess Zelda, so he's got like a black sort of like panther creature that follows him around too. Right. And since he's Link, he never talks. He just sits. He just kind of does this thing and looks cool. It'll be great. It'll be original. Everyone will love it.
Yeah. We're a little confused with Lincoln and Driss Doorden there. But they're basically the same. Cade Silverfoot for following, a gentleman and a scholar. Yeah,
like half
I don't know, like a half elf. Half elf?
Yeah, because he's like a Highland and a Kokiri. He's a mix of some stuff. So
I don't really know the Zelda games very well, I have to say.
Half elf ranger, who like the up close fighty ranger. Yeah, sure. Up close fighty ranger. That's what.
Up close the fighty ranger.
I don't play rangers, but.
Okay. When are we going to see Rem on the other side of the DM screen on ERP again? The other side. I guess that's the DM side or the player side. But I'm confused.
That's the DM screen.
Well, when are we going to see Rem back on another show that isn't just this one? I guess. Hopefully next season, right? Because you're.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Because there's like work things that I'm keeping an eye on. I'm just tired of this super front loaded schedule I got. Because usually Thursdays I'm just worn out. But there's different opportunities. I'm going to try and do something again next season. I do miss the streams. I'm done with the shows, the theater things.
Yeah. It's basically been a scheduling issue or scheduling thing basically because.
When's the next 24-hour stream?
Soon.
Okay.
I'll let you know. We've actually got 1 year of full-time streaming coming up, so we're going to be doing 24 hours pretty soon here. Pretty excited. Well, have I ever played a D&D game with the PCs as common as starting out? I haven't, but I know Rem has. You played like a
what was it? Peasant Joe.
Peasant Joe.
Although he was a monk though. I wanted him to be a common by side. It's when Mitch did that thing where we were all just town guards, that was really. That
is true. We did a town guard one, yeah.
I think it'd be hysterical if we did like I've always thought it'd be great like a D&D thing, like either a Downton Abbey or like there's no monsters, nothing. You're just dealing with like trivial life bullshit.
Downton Abbey D&D.
We have to go dig the latrine today. Clyde.
Clyde. Fuck you, Clyde.
We need your strength score. That's what you get for maxing athletics. Use your key points.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I've never run a campaign, but yeah, Mitch has definitely done we're all town guards, and that was pretty funny stream. I was really drunk for that one. I mean, when it comes to remembering a lot of things that happened on the 24-hour stream, I was really drunk. I don't remember what happened in that game.
Yeah, that last 8-hour segment, usually for me as well, is just, what?
Yeah. What was that? We played games? But yes, that has been pretty fun. Out of all the characters I played, which one is our favourite and why? I mean, I like a lot of different characters for a lot of different reasons. If in terms of like a player character, then my favourite ever player character, I do like playing Douglas. He's a human fighter who's short and he's got a real bad anger problem. He's a lot of fun, and he's Spell Lord. And he gets this a big, deep Northern Irish voice on. He's fun to play. I like playing a character called Grog. I've probably been playing for over 2.5 years now or so. In one shots or on campaigns or seasons of shows or whatever. Grog's been around before the stream even started, and he's like this bumbling idiot basically. There isn't a wish list, no. Finbar is another fun character. He's like a total dickbag of a bard, human bard, or maybe half-elf bard. It's been a long time. He was a lot of fun to play. Big, smarmy charmer type, and it was fun getting to be a dickhead to everyone, more so than usually. Favorite character you've ever played, Rome?
It's probably gonna be either a tie between. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed Winky Slipfoot.
Oh yeah,
he's a fat halfling barbarian who's a complete coward. But he doesn't really get angry, and I start going ham. He just gets scared and starts going ham. That's him. It's like cornering a cat, a really fat cat that just starts to punch. Oh yeah, he beat people with stale bread. And he talks like Morty from Rick and Morty. He was very, I don't know, Rick, the things like that. Just scared all the time. And either him or I enjoyed Peasant Joe as well. He's just a monk, just like a farmer with a gardening hoe. With a very, very like upper Midwest Canadian accent. Hey there, name's Peasant Joe. I heard you need a bit of help there, friends. Hey there, how you doing? He's just a good old guy.
Good old, he's just a solid man at the end of the
Good
day.
old
Was Peasant
Peasant
Joe. You can always rely on Peasant Joe.
And he has this shop in front of the
Tomb of Horrors.
Tomb of Horrors, yeah, he has that shop out there. And everybody fled to the Tomb of Horrors to get away from him because he was so dangerous. Take refuge in the Tomb of Horrors.
Oh man. Alright, so is Roll20.net easier than an actual Mat and Minis? Also, if I go Mat Mini, what size mat should I get and which minis? Minis aren't cheap from what I've seen, so I'd only be able to get a handful. Oh my god, what was that sound?
That was my phone. My notification now is the character Nyx from Dota 2 going for Nyx.
I thought it said minis. I thought it was I thought it said minis, and I looked over and Rim wasn't speaking. I was like, how the fuck did he do that?
I was like, shut up, keep pacing.
That was fucking
Don't
terrible.
let them know you're locked up down here.
Oh my god. And thank you to Corimps for following, a gentleman and a scholar. Fuck me. Wow. Which is easier to set up? I mean, probably like Roll20 is easier, I guess, in terms you don't have to go and buy bits, you don't have to go and spend money for it. You can do Roll20 all for free, and do it on your laptop, your computer, whatever. 300 triggers, there we go. Fuck me. Minis aren't cheap, especially like if you're getting them. I mean, you can get cheaper ones nowadays, right? You used to only be able to get like Games Workshop ones.
You can find a lot of people's old armies from like
right.
So if you want to do like an orc campaign,
and
you got like maybe $40 you can drop. You can find some orcs.
Yeah. Roll20 can take a long time to learn. That is true. But if you're literate with like VTTs, more like Fancy Grounds or something like that, it's pretty quite easy. I do find it quite intuitive. Like Roll20 works fairly easily. Minis aren't cheap though. Like buying them from Wizards could be quite expensive as well, right? Because they have this like booster pack bullshit thing, where you get random ones, I think, and maybe you can get the same ones. Right, yeah. They go on the same kind of deal as Magic. Like you can get the same cards over and over. You get the same minis, but they can be quite expensive. So I'd. What's a good website to get minis from? Remy, put it in front of me.
If you've got time but not money, there's this YouTube channel called The DM's Craft with DM Scotty. The mouse isn't working. And I use that to make like out of like this little storefront or a little front like house is made out of just foam board and popsicle sticks. So like a little well you make out of more like styrofoam sticks like that. And the grid pad is just corkboard with a stamp painted on it. And that's, if you want to get like that, that's a good way to start off.
Right. And
for minis, you can also do like little pogs, tokens, stuff like that, if you want just that physical thing.
Yeah, pogs are another good one. You can print those off and stuff, you know. They're probably card things that you can print off as well if you're interested in stuff like that. Roll20 would be cheaper to do it. I probably would take you a certain amount of time, right? I mean, there's pros and cons to both. I mean, some people just, if you're playing around a table, for instance, then probably I'd like to do it around the table. A lot of players really like that, but who knows? Hopefully that helped a little bit, my friend. What's your opinion on the fact that over half the playable races have dark vision? Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think there's a bit of an issue. Like, everyone has dark vision, basically.
It's more like now, instead of like the one thing that can see in the dark, it's now just like, oh yeah, that's right, you can't see in the dark. Where's your...
Right, yeah, you're the one guy out. It feels weird that you can't see in the dark.
Yeah. I do like, though, that they kind of got rid of like dark vision, or like they had the low light vision.
Right.
Which goes, because it was like, okay, you got dark vision, so you can see this. You have low light vision, so you can
see this,
and you just can't see a damn thing. This, oh, you got a torch out? Okay, you can all see this stuff now.
Right.
And that's...
Yeah. I think like it's a bit of a problem if they continue to create races that are that have dark vision. I mean, you can always homebrew it. You know, in my campaign you don't have dark vision, in my campaign you don't, so on and so forth.
Like dwarves and orcs. That's probably all
you stick to that. You know,
maybe a gnome.
Yeah, maybe a gnome. Yeah. What's the other systems other than D20? There are a million billion star systems out there, my friend of editions. and other systems. You know, you got D6 systems, you got D10, you got D100 systems, you got D8 systems, D4 system. Pretty much every number of dice there's a system for it. Some popular ones that we play: Open Legend. You have exploding dice. When you roll like a 20 on a D20, you roll another one. If you roll a 6 on a D6, you roll another 6, and so on and so forth. Then we play Call of Cthulhu, which is a D100 system, percentile dice system, and Cypher system is also a D20 system. And look, you know, you can find loads of those online and look them up, see what you like. But yeah, that's quite a broad question. There are thousands, tens of thousands of systems out there. Some don't even require dice rolling. So I prefer 3.5 and Pathfinder. What's your favorite edition? For me, 5th edition. Yep.
Yeah. Also 5th. I do want to look into Advanced because there's just a bunch of old content out there for Advanced D&D, like the magazines. A good chunk of them were Advanced,
right.
And those modules to me read easier than the 3.5 and the 5e modules do, just because it's very here's what's up. So I do want to learn Advanced just so I can steal some ideas from their older stuff.
Yeah. 5th edition's really good though. You know, you'd probably enjoy it if you enjoy like stories focused on games focused on storytelling and role-playing, stuff like that. I think it really encourages that. I think it's fluid, easy to learn, and very enjoyable. Easy to become like literate with 5th edition quite quickly, and there's a ton of new players playing it. So if you're looking for a new game, then your best bet is, without a shadow of a doubt, to find a 5th edition game. Yeah, Warhammer used to be a bunch of dice. Tabletop Warhammer fantasy role-playing game has always been percentile dice. Same with all of the Fantasy Flight lines of like Dark Heresy, 1st and 2nd edition. But yeah, the actual tabletop game is fucking ton of dice that you chuck everywhere, right? You know. So, standard question from Scarlet Bullet. I've had to stop my campaign because the group I had lost interest / life got in the way. Is there somewhere, somehow, a way to find willing players outside my circle? How do you deal with the moment when players bail on you after so much hard work creating your campaign for them? Let's take the first question first of all. So is there some way, somehow, to find willing players outside of your circle? Yes, if you're willing to play online, first of all, that's the easiest way to do it. ! Find game links to a YouTube video with a ton of different ways to find a game online, as well as in real life as well. Things like meetup.com and looking for your local game store, your local nerd store, so on. But yeah, there are websites like roll20.net. Now as well, D&D Beyond has a looking for game forum, so you can try dndbeyond.com, and that's another looking for game place that you can find. Reddit looking for game is a good one as well. You know, Facebook, Twitter, general plug, stuff like that. Always a good way. You do the hashtag LFG, hashtag D&D, stuff like that, and you'll usually come across some players. I've had, you know, great success in my time playing with people from all over the place using websites such as Roll20 and Reddit. So Adric has put a game together. Folks I met on here solely. ERP is an awesome community to meet folks. There you go, fantastic. The Discord is another place you can check out. Our Discord is looking for game place in there where you can go and post the times that you're available and stuff like that, and get an answer from folks who might want to join in for a one shot or something like that. Any other ways, Ren, to find a game?
Yeah, I've noticed because that happened with me. You know, I had like Sydney and Brandon and all them in my group, and of course they went to college.
Moved out to college, yeah.
So I didn't really have a group for a while, but then I had some folks from another thing I was involved in. They'd come over to my house afterwards, and we'd either do board games or something like that. And it's kind of like use like little Cards Against Humanity or other little board games. Right. That's like that gateway drug to D&D, which is like the true gateway drug to the tabletop adventures. So I found like, you know, just maybe not start them off with D&D, just start them off with something
something easier, yeah, something simpler. Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. What's the other thing? Yeah, I just mentioned that as well, yeah. The second part of the question's worth answering as well. How do you deal with the moment when players bail on you after so much hard work creating a campaign for them? I mean, that's a sucky feeling, you know. You've worked hard on it. You've
put lots of time and effort into it, lots of thinking hours and thought process and whatnot, and then they just bail on you. So the reason that they left, right, is that they've lost interest and or life got in the way. So it might be the case that they were looking for something different than you were looking for. So you were DMing looking to play a certain type of game, but they were looking for something completely different. Maybe that's why they lost interest in the game. Obviously, you can't stop life from getting in the way, so, that is what it is. Ultimately, you got to move on. It's like getting over like an ex-girlfriend, but way easier. It's, like
harder sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? But I mean, it's the case where you've got to realize that those people, for whatever reason, they lost interest playing with you. You maybe lost interest playing with them. Life gets in the way. That's how it is with a ton of gaming groups, unfortunately. Trying to, especially like in adult life, when people have full-time jobs, they've got kids, they've got wives, and so on and so forth. It becomes less easy to find time for things. So it is what it is. You can't be too salty about it. And taking that resentment into your next game isn't going to help anyone. So just be like, well, that sucked, and that was kind of shitty of them to do that, without, telling me or whatever, if they just suddenly upped and left. But I'm enjoying doing this, and I want to do more of this, so I'm going to find new people to play with. So you just got to go into it with a positive mindset, People leave, life gets in the way, it's often not their fault. Think about if it's because they lost interest in the game. Maybe in the future you could do something to continue the next group's interest in the game. So you could ask them what they're looking for in a campaign. So are you looking for a really roleplay heavy focused game? Are you guys looking for a really story driven game? And take that from there. And hopefully that will keep them interested. But ultimately you can't control real life. I run something like 11 to 12 games every week of D&D, and invariably every few months someone has to drop out of a game due to real life. They've got a new job, they've got a new girlfriend, they've so on and so forth, and they have to set their own priorities first. It sucks, it is annoying at times, I understand, more than most, especially when it's just my job. Someone just tells you that they can't make it, or suddenly a group of people bail. It's frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's a game. There are plenty of people out there on the internet that would want to play with you. And plenty of people in real life as well that you can go and find. So so don't let the PJ Salt get to you, and plow forwards. Anything else you'd want to add on to that one, Rem?
Yeah, I'd say maybe if you think it was maybe something that you did, right. Just see what it was that they might have not liked. I've had different play groups that catch on to different stuff. Some like wacky stuff, some like serious stuff.
Yeah.
If you do find someone else, it sounds like.
If you find another.
If you do find.
If you find love again.
Else, just feel free to use the previous stuff that you use with your old group and see how they take that.
Yeah. I mean,
take them to the fair instead. And see what else they want to go on.
They deserve it. Consider as well, if you have written this really long campaign, you put loads of hard work into it, loads of effort and so what, doesn't mean you have to throw it all away just because they don't want to play it. You can take parts of that world that you've created, parts of that campaign, take it into a new game and play it with the new players as well. So nothing is lost. All that they've lost is the opportunity to play with you, and sounds like a fantastic opportunity to pass up. Okay, so what's the best way, or how do you prepare for a session or a campaign? Thank the Virulent Egg for following a gentleman and a scholar. We're just one follow away for our follower goal for today, so if you haven't joined us yet already, come in and join us, my friends. Can I be Legolas then? If your DM allows you to be playing literal Legolas, which I doubt they might, but who knows. Okay, so what's the best way to prepare for a session or campaign, Rem?
I'd say prepare for it, as in like you're about to have the gaming
prepare for the unprepared.
like they're don't prepare anything and just let it happen. As in like they're gonna game tomorrow's when they're gonna game and it's time to get all the stuff together.
Yeah.
Kind of, okay. I'd say mostly just to have the books there. I found a notepad. If you can put everything onto one page of a notepad, that's fine. Don't go over that. That's all the notes that you should really bother having to keep track of, besides actual monster manual stats or things like that. pencils, and of course a gaming area as well.
Pizza,
yes,
beer.
Beers, definitely beers. Or just whatever. Snacks. Snacks are always fun. And a schedule. That's probably the best one.
Right.
Maybe plan ahead. Players can just pick up their character sheets and start going. You need some time.
Yeah.
For the most part, even if it's just 30 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. And in terms of as well, we can take the other side of the question as well. What's the best way to prepare for a session? How do you best find, you can remember notes and things that you need to remember? I work with a lot of, Google document notes. I'll, embolden character names and places and stuff like that. That always helps for me. That is confusing sound-wise. You can, at least, a 30-minute prep for stuff, maybe an hour or so. Take notes of the most important things that are going to happen in the campaign. Take note of the the main NPCs' names, what their motivations are, what their goals are, and so on and so forth, and basically take it from there. That's really all you need. As long as you have an understanding in your mind of how things are going to work, then that will be fine. I think then you'll be able to carry yourself. We've got a new exclamation point arena and a new exclamation point challenge as well. Exciting stuff. Legolas always wins. Not really, no. But who knows? What is the best race for starting out in?
I'd say just human.
Human, probably, yeah.
It's easy they don't have to, especially if they're brand new to the fantasy genre in general.
Yeah.
Because you might say I'm an elf, and they think, oh, like a little Keebler elf. And no, this is Lord of the Rings. Sir.
Human is usually pretty easy. Easy to connect to. Sometimes it can be difficult for people to really understand what a dwarf thinks like, or what a elf acts like, or what a tiefling actually is. So yeah, I guess it's pretty vanilla, but human. So next question: is it really a DM's goal to TPK a party every time, or no? No, definitely not. That is I would argue, for my games, the opposite of what you're actually intending or trying to do. The DM's task is to tell a story, and you can't tell stories when people are dead a lot of times, when everyone is dead. No.
It's fun, though, to pretend that you're trying to kill them.
Right. So often, the confusion could be from, DM would be like, oh, I'm going for a TPK, I'm going to try and kill you all. The DM isn't really trying to do that. It's kind of like a joke which is understandable between the players and between the Dungeon Master as well. No one actually wants to murder all the players, because then your story ends. Will playing Legolas win a duel? I've never seen Legolas in a duel before, so I wouldn't know. And this the part of the story is a bunch of dead adventurers becoming ghosts, which it definitely could be. I've seen campaigns where you die at the beginning, and now you're playing ghosts, and you're in a different, shadow world or whatever. But no, do not, if you're the DM, try to kill the party. It is not DM versus players, it is DM with players, and working alongside each other to create a story together, all of which will be fun. So yeah, try not to kill all the players. But if you kill one or two here and there, don't feel too bad about it. Yeah, it's all good.
Savor the moment. Don't just kill them all at once. I actually had my new players. They had their first player death in our last session.
Yeah. Oh.
It was intense. It was quite intense.
How did they die?
It was Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Oof.
They were. Yeah, that's when I realized, damn, this is dangerous.
Shit.
They got to the very end. She had her. It was like a half orc,
right?
Fighter, an elf rogue, and the other one was a dragonborn druid. They were fighting these two, what were they called, the guard drakes, and they've just been. It was like the last fight in the whole dungeon. So they were beat up, fighting all they could, and pretty much one girl was down to just rolling death saves and failed the death saves. And the interesting thing about that time is there's a roper in the corner that is demanding food. And so, like, once she died, like, the party's all sad, and they see the roper reach forward, like, grab her body and eat it. And there's, oh, that happened. And the rogue, of course, like, I didn't even get to live the body. Because typical rogue bullshit.
Typical rogue bullshit, yeah. Fuck me. That sounds like fun. Yeah, yeah, typically I try not to kill all of the players, but sometimes it happens. You know, sometimes they make bad decisions. You got to punish them for the bad decisions. Bring the punish. Yeah, and when it makes sense in character, when he made a bad decision, then it's going to happen. But try and keep him alive. You know, it's not about trying to kill all the players. It's about having fun together.
If you have to kill, just kill like an NPC they all like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kill a child or a...
Yeah, yeah, at Sydney, if she's still in here.
Yeah. Oh, no, I could kill her all the time. Never been charged. Thank you to Rashad Daniva for following, a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Of course, you guys are enjoying the show, hit that follow button and join us. Bring the pain. So, how would you two rate Dwarf Bards? I like Dwarf Bards. Valonder in chat is currently playing a Dwarf Bard in my Adventurers Anonymous campaign.
I'm wondering if it is supposed to be Dwarf Beards, but they left the E out.
Ah, maybe they left an E out, yeah. Well, obviously Dwarf Bards are cool, sure. Dwarf Beards, however...
Bagpipes.
Yeah. Go full Scott. But Dwarf Beards are, quite frankly, arousing. There are certain websites which I frequent that...
That's true.
Very
good.
Dwarf. TheBeardedDwarf.com.
That bardic persuasion. The things you do for a D8 bonus dice.
Things I do for an inspiration die. The things you do for the inspiration D. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, no, yeah, they are cool. They're cool. Okay, so we've gone through the first bout of questions. It's got us through a couple of pages here of questions. So, guys, if you have a D&D question, feel free to ask it to myself and to Remuel as well. Anything from rules to our opinions on a class or a homebrew thingy or, I don't know, an idea that you have. Feel free to join us now. But yes, don't TPK the whole party if you can help it. But hey, if it happens... That's happened. Yeah. But better to mind, I've been DMing for 10 years and I've only ever had a TPK once. And I didn't even mean to. And even then, they didn't all die. So, you know, I'm lenient. I'm really nice. I'm really a nice DM, guys. I wouldn't hurt anyone. Wouldn't hurt a fly. I'm kidding. It's just emotional, torturous pain that you put your players through. That's the real win, you know, as a DM. Making them feel bad for the terrible things that they've done or other people have done is the real win. Killing them, when they're dead, they can't feel.
True.
When they're dead, they can't feel. When they're alive, keep them alive forever. I once kept one of Beth's characters alive eternally so that she could suffer in hell forever onwards. She never died, but she would suffer incredible pain. Kaylin, yeah.
That's like old school ERP.
Yeah.
And season 1.
Season 1, the first ever season of Encounter Roleplay. And she was trapped down in Nilfheim, not to be confused with Milfheim. And that was where like all the souls went to die and everything. And the plural of Legolas is Legoli. Or Legolassi, I don't know. And her parents had died previously, and she was like kind of responsible for their death. And she was trapped down in that kind of hellscape with them, with her as well. And it was fantastic because she had to spend an eternity and she was just out of arm's reach of her parents and they couldn't speak to her. All they could do was look at her, and it was good times. It was good times. How do I determine my alignment? Fuck you! Exclamation point alignment. Samwise question: are Circle of the Moon druids overpowered? It seems like elementals are dangerous. Circle of the Moon Druid overpowered.
That's the shape-shifting druids, right?
Right. And they're very good. They're like super tanky. So if you can, when you shapeshift into a big bear or something like that, and then you come back down again, they can do a lot of damage. But I don't think they're necessarily overpowered. You look at some other classes that deal a lot of damage and take damage as well, and I'd say they're about on a par, right? I've never seen a druid that is like completely ridiculous. The world of Lego, lass. But I've certainly seen very strong druids doing a lot of good things. You could probably multi-class. I mean, most things get broken when you multi-class into rogue.
Yeah. That's true. The sneak attack bear. Oh no! Sneak attack.
Yeah. And Sami's right. Like most spellcasters, they're weak in early levels and they gain power in later levels. That's the general like curve of 5th edition. It seems like the melee dealers are much better at early levels, and at later levels they become slightly worse because at later levels you're throwing things around like time warp trio. You know, you're stopping time and you're tripling between planes and dimension dooring and stuff like that. So yeah, I think at later levels the spellcasters really pick up. All the largest groups I've ever DM'd for, was it fun or easy to manage? I think the largest group I've ever DM'd for is like, I want to say 7 players? 7 players and like a couple of onlookers. And then I don't think... the answer is Legolas, of course. Oh, there's a train.
Yeah, there's a train.
Yeah. Bard Rogue is broken as fuck. I mean, like the problem isn't like the multi-class feature. Is the problem is the rogue, you know. Yeah, rogues are generally just a bit broken. Yeah, about 7 of a couple of onlookers. It was fun. It became a little bit like yes, just Lassie. What are you trying to tell me? There's someone falling down the well. Large groups tend to like lose their fun at around like 6 players. To me, I think it tends to become more difficult to manage. It certainly wasn't easy to manage, especially when they're onlookers to the game and like if they start talking and stuff like that. It's like fucking shut up. Who's just gonna watch? That's why like having an audience on Twitch is fantastic because like you can speak, but it's not like you're, like people are actually talking over other people. If that makes sense, which would be like the difference between like live audience and online audience. It was, I mean, it's a fun game, but ultimately I feel like it did suffer from being like a bit too large. I've heard people, you know, like, I DM for 10 people every day, I DM for 20 people every week. You know, fuck me, I don't know how you do it. You know, props to you for doing it. But some tips and tricks if you are looking to do it: no phone policy. If you're not in a scene, you don't speak. If you're doing like private scenes, you can tell them what to fuck off out of the room, and then you do the scene. And that seems to work quite well. You can tell people to shut the fuck up. You know, don't feel free to tell them if they're not listening, please don't speak, you know, so on. And I think the phones one is a big one. Generally, like fucking with things is a big problem when they're groups of large people, especially when they're not in a scene. They start talking to one another. Ren, you've DM'd for some big groups. What's some good way of like keeping control of that dynamic?
Yeah, I know. At the very beginning, when I finally set them all down, half of them were all new. I just kept like snapping a hold of them for like input, like the smallest things. So you come across an inn and it's called, like, tell me what it's called. Iodized salt, because he sees a thing of iodized salt in the peppers. And it kind of keeps them engaged. But it went for like an hour and a half. I think it's to me it's just people they'll form their own little, like, oh, he's working with this person, well, let's talk about this over here.
Right. Yeah. I think it becomes difficult to keep everyone involved with a larger game because, you know, it gets to a point where there are some people who are very good at one thing. So like the idea of D&D, the great thing about roles is that, you know, if there's going to be a sneaky thing, you send a rogue in. You know, if there's going to be a magic thing, you talk to a magic user. You know, if there's going to be a fighty thing, you know, you need to open a door or whatever. With strength, you go to the fighter or a barbarian or whatever. When it comes to like larger groups of players, you end up getting several people who are doing the same thing, and so it gets difficult to like really give them their own thing to be doing. Everyone ends up doing the thing at the same time, and you know, it loses some loses something for me.
But my Drow Ranger is different than his
mine's the best Drow Ranger ever.
My Panther has brown fur.
It's big and strong. Yeah. But those are a couple of things that, you know, you can do if you are working in a large group. The best thing to do, though, if you do have a really large group, you've got 10 players or something like that, is to have 2 groups, you know, or 5 players, and you've solved your problem, you know. But we all want to play together. Well, you know, sorry. There's too many of you. I can't even listen to you all.
What if like we go to like a con where like you can play like D&D with some like strangers, and you create like the Dritz guy, but you like totally pretend to be like, yeah, I really like those Dritz books. I just read them, like, start reading them, and I want to play like a Dritz guy, and just go with it straight faced, Just see how triggered you
Just
can
see
make
how
everybody.
they fucked up you can make them. Someone should do that next time that we're at a con and we're running open tables, which I think will be not Games Fest. I'm trying to think of the one in America that I'm going to. The big one. What's the big one called?
The one in the middle.
Indianapolis. Yeah.
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. That's the one.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Kubla Khan.
Oh, but I'm going to the big, the big one, the one with all the things out, all the people out that we're getting flown out to go to. That one.
Yeah, the people were.
Nah, it's not Gen Con. No, it's definitely not Gen Con. It's definitely
definitely not Gen
Kubra Con. Yeah,
right. Yeah, Shaka Khan.
Yeah. Chupacabra-con.
Chupacabra-con.
See a little leprechaun, the con. Did I play
They should do that like Ireland. Like, let's do leprechaun.
Leprechaun. Didn't you apply to a Roll20 game with Super Generic Elf Ranger as a joke? Did you ever get a response? I got a response that was like, sorry, but no. I got really fucking triggered about it. Figured a quirting for following. Yeah, I made a guy called Will Smith who had it was a generic picture from Google of a man with a Mega Man hat. Hey, 2.5 donates £5. Hey, Will, quick drive-by donation. Have fun. Thank you, my friend. Gentleman underscore that guy 2.5. Appreciate that, buddy. How you doing? Hopefully you're having a good day. Wherever you are at the moment. Hopefully work finishes soon. Oh, wait, no, it's Sunday. No one works on Sunday. But I'll be working. Swear to God. Yes, there was another question, though. It doesn't it? Worst result ever on a D10,000 during a live game. It was a 10,000 on a D10,000, and it explodes the nearest star on a D10,000. That happened in our Out of the Abyss campaign, whilst they were below ground in the Underdark. That happened. That then became Season 2 of the Broken Kingdoms. At the very beginning of the campaign, a star exploded and crashed down onto Earth, and that brought with it all sorts of madness and mischief. So, yeah.
Wasn't that also during Opposite Day? Where it was really a 1 day I'd rolled? But
Yeah, it might have been a 1, and then actually it was Opposite Day. I don't remember. Yeah. It was some mindfuckery. There have been some terrible D10,000s. It's difficult to remember the exact amount after the sheer volume of D10Ks that have been thrown our way, but people have disgorged lamb heads. People have, disappeared forever. People have appeared in the beds of mind flayers. There's been some bad things going on. Tarask happened, yeah. Yeah. In the same campaign of the Broken Kingdom as the Star Explosion, they rolled a D10,000, and there were rumors spreading that the Tarask has come to Earth or something like that. And so at the end of the campaign, we had a Tarask. It was pretty good times. And the strongest monster DM can use is also the Tarask. Although if there are multiple other creatures, they could probably overwhelm the Tarask. If you put enough mind flayers up against the Tarask, you'd probably get somewhere.
I think I went to there's a wiki of the 3.5 kind of like an SRD sort of thing, and
right.
They had these CR 30 plus monsters, and the highest one was it was just like the devil. It's like Lucifer. Like, what?
Literally,
they have stats
the devil.
for the devil.
That sounds like it would be fun.
Who gonna fight today? Devil.
Playing fucking devil. What about you?
Fucking devil, man. You can't be scared than the devil.
I win because I'm the devil.
I'm the devil. Hey, devil, what's your alignment? Shut up. This is D&D 5th edition. I can be whatever I want.
You could send 1,000 Tarask against the players, yes. What was the very best thing that's ever been rolled in a D10K? In recent memory, in Imperator, Slammer's right. You could make up some shit. In Imperator, we had one of the characters suddenly finds himself in a position of great power, and he became a consul of Rome overnight. which was pretty fantastic for him, as he was, you know, trying to be someone that wielded influence and power. So that was pretty good. I mean, you know, people have been given riches and houses and, you know, fortresses and so much stuff, but that definitely jumps to mind. Yeah, I'm trying to think of more specific examples for the best ones. Usually they're bad. I mean, usually they're bad, or usually they're just straight up weird if they're not bad. That's the other side of things. I'll send 1 billion hydras along with 1,000 Tarrasques. Yes, do that.
Each hydra head grows another hydra, not another hydra head.
Which grows another Tarrasque face.
Yes,
excellent.
Oh I found the stats for the devil.
Oh, baby. Do you want to put that in chat?
Yeah, we put them in chat. I guess that's something next weekend for you and Phil. Guys,
to take a look at.
It's the devil. It's in D&D.
Yes, the 13-eyed gobbo. That was a weird one. Yeah. Oh man.
209,920,000 XP.
Wow, that is fantastic.
AC 74. Oh, that was insane.
That was a good day. That was a good time when the devil landed. A Tarrasque. Yes, a Tarrasque. The one that yes, that hallowed being. But yeah, if you guys do have any questions, well, feel free to fire them in at us. We've gone through a fair few thus far. We come to the end of the second bout of questions, whether it is about a rule question, whether it's about a scenario or a situation or a homebrew character or idea that you're coming up with, or if you just like to share with us one of your latest stories about douchebag DM or douchebag player. We love to hear about douchebag players and DMs. There's nothing better to me than hearing about a guy who's been utter dick and you've been able to bring in the rule of dick upon them. Unique monster, the death of all, yes. The name might need some work. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty good for me. Have you had any problem players recently, Rem, or are you problem player free? Are you living in a problem free world?
I had one guy who was just like, he only played like once or twice, but he was always like he played like a tiefling sorcerer, and he just went like full, my character's a dick, and like with like
the rule of dick.
I'm gonna be a dick for this dragon,
right?
And get like taken out, and it's I'm gonna be. It's like, dude, you're playing in Horde of the Dragon Queen, which is not balanced in any way, shape, or form. But you don't know that. I'm just gonna have him kill you. He's a fun guy. It's just that it's like when you tell him it's a sandbox game. Oh, I can do anything. I guess I call it. He went Grand Theft Auto mode.
Right.
He went full Skyrim.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Full Dovahkiin.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That could be a problem. In fact, we were looking at a barbarian path earlier today, which was the Path of Doomed Seeker, I think, or Doom Seeker, and it was basically Gotrek from Warhammer, and it was I go and seek my doom. I'm gonna go kill everyone. It's okay because it was actually really balanced, but the premise behind it could be problematic when you get a player who's just like, oh my god, why? But it's my character.
Kill that.
I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna kill this here. That is.
Everything is worth XP.
Yeah, but. This cow is worth 1 XP. I could grind my levels. I could grind on this cow. Not anything can grind on cows. Yes, the barbarian path of the murder hobo. That's always been a problem. Especially of newer players as well. They come in, they don't quite understand that it's about storytelling and stuff like that, or they don't quite understand exactly that you're not meant to be just killing things as you would be in like an MMO or another game along similar lines, where you are just trying to kill shit, basically. So I found that tends to be the problem.
You also get like, this backstories. Like, okay, he was a general in this war, and he's won all these battles and and he has this. He wants to slew this ancient mage. Okay, nice. You're level 1. You have 6 HP.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, if you say so. But
all right,
the bartender can beat you up, can throw a tankard at you, and you're unconscious.
Yeah. But I destroyed nations. I mean, in your dream, in a former life.
Fight the goblin.
Yes. Lawful. Kill it. Volanda, how do you deal with escalating character to character issues, i.e., PvP? PvP RPG. A Tarrasque.
Yeah, how do you deal with it getting to the point where they just wanted to kill each other? These characters, they're not working together. They're not being part of the team. They're not on the squad.
I think it depends on the situation. I mean, I've once worked like a character feud into the story, and it worked out pretty well at the end. But when it becomes like just that pissing contest,
right?
Then it's just like, oh, come on, guys.
Stop. Yeah.
Stop. Just go outside and beat each other up in real life, and come back in. Don't get your characters involved in this.
Yeah. It depends. If both players are okay with it, then generally it's okay. If you can take them aside and be like, you guys are kind of arguing a lot. Is this okay? Are we okay? In character squabbling can be a bit annoying at times, as long as it doesn't escalate to out of character. But if it's continuing to escalate, then I know a lot of DMs that will just say there is no PvP in my games. You cannot make ability rolls against one another. You cannot make attack rolls against one another. You cannot try to even deceive one another, stuff like that. Because they've had players who have been or they know their players well enough to bar them from doing that. So they need to understand that they're working together. It's a team game. It's teamwork, guys. Teamwork. It's a group game, and if it's becoming a problem with out of character as well, or it's becoming annoying for you to deal with, then make sure you take them aside. And one sec, I'll read this real quick. Oh my god, this is incredible. This is incredible. So Sydney's just sent me a link to something that her mum has just seen, and the number plate, you can check it on the stream, the number plate reads Mary Sue. The true Mary Sue has been found. That's fucking incredible. Well played, Melissa. Well played. But yeah, if it's becoming a problem where it's becoming annoying for you, it's becoming annoying for the other players, you take them to one side and say, let's not do PvP, or can we work this out else in other ways? Is it escalating to? I guess I'll ask a question: is it escalating to player-to-player issues, becoming frustrated? Because usually I find that if I'm in a game with people who are arguing all the time, or if I'm the one who's kind of arguing with other players or other characters, then it quickly becomes tiring, quickly becomes frustrating for one side of the group, so yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that, Rem? Is it cool with you? Is it?
I
just tell them to shut up?
For the most part, you can kind of at the beginning when they want to fight. Okay, sure, yeah, at the beginning of the game when they're having the fun little. But you get those guys who just want to. It's come on, you're with this group for a reason. That's kind of something that you kind of want to lay down in that session. Why are you here? Why are you with this group? That also keeps the rogue from, I'm going to be a rogue and do my own thing. Right.
You
gotta crush a lot of those
squabbles. Problems earlier on. Yeah. And I think Salami mentioned earlier, when you sit down to play for the first time, it's worth just having that conversation as well at that point, in this game, we're going to be telling a cooperative game, we're going to be working together, we're going to be having fun, and so on and so forth. And that way, you can really prevent that becoming a problem later on. I know Lindy was in chat the other week, and she's saying she has a problem with a player who is always stealing the loot as the rogue. Always stealing the loot from the other players. No matter what, no matter what the situation is, they'll just find a way to steal loot. It's my character, because I'm playing a rogue. That bullshit.
Yeah, it's my motivation.
It's my only reason to live. It's fine to play a rogue, but just not fun to be a dick. And the question always is, why are you traveling with a group? Why is that character even hanging out with these people if all he's doing is just stealing?
Because he wants to kill them later.
Yes, I'm going to steal their stuff and then take it all from them so they can work for me. Why are they bothering to keep you around if you are continuing to be a dick in character? It doesn't make any sense to me. So always ask yourself.
why is that person traveling with the group? Why is anyone bothering to keep that person around? And consider as well, it's like the person that always wants to go off and do their own thing, you know. No, it's a group game, you know. We're working together, we're trying to tell a story together, and you going off in your own scene, guess what, you know, fantastic, but we're not going to play out that scene if you're constantly trying to go off on your own and be a part away from the group. It really becomes a problem because it splits up the focus of the game, and it splits... You know, you shouldn't be getting as much time as like all of the other players combined should be getting, if that makes sense. It's what my character would do. Yeah, like just stop.
Shut up.
Shut up. Have you ever asked a player to leave in the middle of a campaign? Yeah, I have. Yeah, politely spoken to people and say it's time for you to leave the campaign. Thank you and goodbye. You know, plenty of times that has happened. You ever asked a player to leave mid-campaign, Ram?
Not really. I think we just...
They've left?
Well, we just like create a new Facebook chat with that person and then schedule our meetups. That chat, that's how you do it.
That's like the super beta way to do it.
Yeah. I've got like 6 Facebook chats, but it's all of the same people in them, but each one is like a different person.
Not included.
Sneaky. This is my everyone but you chat. This is my everyone but you chat.
That sounds like it's a bad way of organizing things. Yeah, I just talk to people and say, sorry, you're leaving. These are the reasons why. These are the problems. You know, by the time I'm actually asking someone to leave the game, then I've already had plenty of conversations with that person about why their behavior is problematic. So it's not like I turned around to a player and suddenly been like, "You're out of the game, bitch!" You know, it's not the case. You know, usually you've had 5 to 10 conversations with this person, you've been playing them for a long time, and you know you're just frustrated, tired of it. The rest of the group agree. You know, very rarely just my decision. Usually the rest of the players are on board as well. It's the rule of dick, as we've spoken about before. I've never been a person who has been asked to leave a game. No, I've certainly left games of my own accord, though. Like it's just way easier than than sitting through campaigns. I know some people get into the mentality where they have to continue to like play in a game that they're not having fun in, or with people that they're not having fun with because they're the only people that they can play with or whatever. You know, I very quickly learned that wasn't the case and just move on from shitty people, shitty groups. And also now that it's a job on Encounter Roleplay, you know, I'm far more brutal than I would be in real life with, you know, friends and people like that.
If you're having fun with the game, that's when it's time to become a dungeon master.
Exactly. Yeah, you become the DM and you become the the Baron of Dick.
It's the same sort of foundation method for like all the churches here in the southeast. We're gonna make our own. That's why there's like 40 of them in every town.
This shit, yeah. You can't ask me to leave. I was gonna leave my own anyway.
Make my own church with my own Jesus.
My own Jesus. You go full Henry VIII on that shit.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bigger statue, bigger steeple. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how it all begins. Michael May, 1999. Great year. Question: is flanking part of 5e D&D? One of my players liked to claim you should get advantage on attack because him and an ally are flanking an enemy. No. 5th edition has a I believe it has an optional rule for flanking, right? But I do not believe it gives you advantage. Advantage in 5e is a really, really good thing, so do not be giving out advantage willy-nilly, especially if he's like playing a rogue or something like that, because you can get really abusable. But that being said, rogues do get a similar thing to flanking. I think Salami's talking about it there, in that if you're like within 5 feet of an ally, then you get...
It feels like if another ally is engaged with your... It's like if you have an ally who's engaged with who you're attacking, then you get the advantage. Right. Even if it's a range attack against the guy.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
What's up, Paronga? How's it going, my man? Good to see you. But in the base set of the game, no, flanking does not exist. And even if it did, it does not confer advantage. Even if like you're using the optional rules, don't give them advantage. Advantage is so really, really good in 5th edition.
3.5 was just a +2, right?
Yeah. And in 4th, I think it was something similar. You get a +2. So that I think it's something similar in 5th. But look in the back of your DMG for like the optional rule stuff. Might be an SRD. I don't think it's SRD material. But yes, that was it's not a ting. A challenge.
new Shiva back. But yeah, keep on top of it. Make sure that you you check the rules. Worth checking. And because if someone's continuing to abuse something like that, then that can become an issue for your game. And you can always house rule things as well. So even if it were the case that there is that mechanic in the game, even if there was that thing in the game, then you can always say, actually, in my game, no, that's not how we're going to run it. I'm going to be using this rule, playing this rule differently, so on and so forth. And that can be perfectly valid. Your say is final. Yeah. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know. As much woodchuck as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, I guess, Smudge. I'm going to the arena here. £4. Fiver? I don't know. That's pretty generous towards the woodchuck, I think. I don't know. I think he's played in the group before. Let's use that rule, and he wants us to use it as well. I remember, Michael, you're in charge. So, if you want to use that rule and you want to say, actually, in this game, flanking is a thing, and it is going to give advantage, perfectly fine. Bear in mind that if it's the same rule for the players, then the enemies are going to get that same rule against him,
and those goblins, woo!
Yeah,
I like using goblins.
If there are a lot of goblins, and you're using, these home-ruled flanking rules that give advantage, and they're going to fuck you up. They're going to fuck those players up, especially if they get a surprise round on or something like that.
Don't they already get advantage for having a buddy nearby?
Pack tactics. I know if goblins do. I know kobolds do. I think
kobolds
you might be right.
Kobolds,
Yeah. Pack tactics for everyone is not currently in the game, but who knows? There are certain things that can give you advantage, certain mechanics that can give you advantage on attack rolls and stuff like that. But no, and especially you can go some pretty crazy places with getting advantage a lot. Pack tactics, always get it. Yep. Can a sorcerer make an attack of opportunity using a cantrip spell attack? No, I believe an attack of opportunity is a melee weapon attack, and I think it always has to be.
Because to cast a spell, you have to use an action.
Right. Yeah.
It takes up your standard action.
Yep.
Unless it can be done as in an attack opportunity as your reaction. Unless the spell says specifically.
Yeah, that
your reaction
can be used as reaction. I'm not sure. Yeah.
There's one. Hellish Rebuke is the only one I can.
Hellish Rebuke you can use as a reaction. Yeah. There's probably ways to do it. Right. Warcaster Feat. Yeah, that might do it. Generally, no. So yeah, Warcaster Feat, folks are saying. There you go. Get the feet. Get your feet.
2 already. I don't need more.
Your heads, knees, and toes. My DM has actually said that 99.87 that Homebrew and him just don't get along. It's fair enough. Thank you to Crypt Monkey Studios for following a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you for joining us, my friend. That's fair enough. For many DMs, they don't like homebrew whatsoever. That's perfectly valid. It's a shame if you're really wanting to do some homebrew stuff and he's not up for it. But you both have to respect your each other's opinions. And unfortunately, if that's a case where you really want to do stuff, then the DM gets the final call. There you go. Prepare to die by my bow. Yeah, there you go. That's the Warcaster Feat there in chat from Urban Lady. Most of the time, questions, can I do X answer with no, but you can do if you have, yeah. Or if you just, house rule at homebrew or whatever. There's usually homebrew around, I can do it. But yeah, Rem, how much homebrew do you allow in your games? If a player were to come to you and say, I want to play this, is that okay? What do you say?
Generally, I say no because I play with a lot of new folks, and my thing is chill out.
Right.
Play with some of the player's handbook. I still haven't played all the 7 of the player's handbook.
Right.
And I think a lot of the stuff in the PHP can just be thematically reskinned to be whatever it is you want to be, anyways. So for the most part, no. Also because it's something I'm not familiar with and I can't really police. And just in case they decide to create the whatever thing you found on your last 3-hour session.
Yeah.
And I'm knee deep in a team of dragons.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you've got enough things to track a lot of the time as a DM that perfectly reasonable to not wanting to have to figure out a way in which a new race is incorporated into the world, or how a new class is supposed to play mechanically. A lot of the times I'll say no as well to things. Smaller bits of homebrew I'm fine with, right? When it comes to like races and classes, I'm generally more cautious, especially classes. But when it comes to like, can I house rule? Like, I've got this interesting mechanic about my character, or I wanna say that he's blind in one eye, and so I want to give myself a disadvantage on this kind of thing, or he's got a gimp leg, and so something like that. Then fantastic, go for it. If it adds flavour, then why not? A lot of the times I think that there's a lot of things that can be, homebrewed within the game itself, or just re-flavoured, re-skinned, rather than the term homebrewing, to make that thing. So if I'm wanting to play, like a Chronomancer or something like that, but that's not in the game, it needs its own class, play a Sorcerer, and take these things here, take these options there. If the game can do it, then let the game do it, That tends to be how I feel about it. But, I'm flexible. If a player really, really wants to do something, it looks fine and it can fit into the world. A lot of the time is that something might not fit into my world, right? So I want to play a gunslinger, Well, sorry, but firearms aren't a big part of my world, or they're not in the campaign, whatever. You having a gun would be ridiculous, and so that doesn't fit canonically with what I'm trying to do here,
It's like, yeah, gunslinger. This is called magic missile.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Now it looks a bit like a rudimentary firearm. Why not? Go for it. A lot of times, people are under the impression that they have to have a specific homebrew for their idea, right? So they come up with a super unique idea that they come up with their minds, or they think is super unique, and they're like, oh man, if only there were a class for me to play this, or if only there were a race for me to play this. Now I have to go and find one online,
Yeah.
That's generally not not my methodology. It's like, well, I've got this cool idea. How can I make this work within the game that I know isn't broken, or I know will be balanced and will work well if I can edit some bits and reflavor and reskin. I don't tend to allow a lot of what's up, Solid? Like spells. I know someone asked about spells. Would I allow those? But I would like to see more spells printed by WotC. I will say that much.
Yeah, I think they could use. That'd be really good. Because I think what's going to make money for them is stuff that players will buy as well as DMs.
Right.
So like an extended spell book sort of thing would be awesome.
Really nice. Really nice. Getting one of these questions here into the document, guys. I remind you, of course, if you are enjoying the show, hit that follow button and join us for 6 days a week of D&D. Alright, so, yeah, more acid spells in particular. As a little reference to Dark Souls, I was thinking, as a DM, making a couple of characters that would be played by me that would invade, ambush them at unexpected but not too inconvenient time. Thoughts on this? The invaders would be a few levels ahead of the party level. So that's an interesting idea. I mean, basically what you're saying is, if you have in your world some kind of invasion thing like Dark Souls does, then yeah, I mean that could certainly work for you. I mean, it's an interesting part of the Dark Souls PvP. As long as they're not like NPCs that you're playing just to follow along with the party, then that could be fine. I mean, like new enemies for them to fight sounds like an interesting idea. Dark Souls is a great game. Cool idea. Maybe they're from a different plane of existence. Maybe there are assassins sent by someone from a different plane, and they can, transport between realms and try and kill the party. Sounds like it could be an interesting hook. Be careful on the balancing. As long as they're as long as the party do have a chance to fight them, then go for it. Thank you to NoPie and Solid Demedron for following. A gentleman and a scholar for you both, my friends. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, what do you think about that idea, Rem? Like assassins sent to kill you.
Yeah, I think that'll
work. Invade.
Especially if they can either, if the assassins are from even otherworldly, then maybe they snatch one of the knives that is made of something totally different to make it work. I
like that. Okay, so next question. I play with friends and we switch out DMs a lot. My thing is I usually allow it as long as in one game breaking and 2 fits a fantasy setting. Seems like a good
good place to come down on. Yeah. As long as nothing breaks the game and it makes sense, then sure, why not? Like, I can see that as well. You probably get this question thousands of times, but I am new, brand new. This is from Solid. Welcome, my friend. Are there any online places to play D&D 5th edition? Yes, there are. Roll20.net is a fantastic virtual tabletop arena with which to play Dungeons and Dragons. Check it out there. You can make a free account. You don't need to pay for anything. You can find players online in their forums to come up and meet with them. You can roll dice with Roll20. You can have maps. You can have tokens. You can have monsters, stats, and all sorts. Yeah, so Roll20 is a good way to do that. There's another place to do that is Fantasy Grounds as well. You can play D online just via Skype. You can just roll dice in real person, or Google Hangouts, or we use a program called Zoom. And yeah, okay. Yeah, so yeah, there's plenty of places to play online. You can play with us, in fact, ! Play. You can come and join us every single week on a Thursday at 4 PM EST, and you can then join us for a one-shot game that I myself will be DMing. Or depending on the season, maybe Rem will be, or maybe Finbar will be. So, could you explain min-maxing to me? Rem, do you want to talk about min-maxing for low?
Okay, yeah, min-maxing is essentially like, to me, thematically, it takes D&D from tabletop RPG more into like a video game kind of environment where you if there's an optimal way you want to stat out your character, like strength, con, dex, whatever, but then there's a point where you're just tanking so hard and everything else just to get that super high strength or just that super high dex, just
sure.
So you can do all the damage, do all of this, or do all of whatever it is you want to do.
All of the things, yeah.
Yes. The thing is, though, it's like however good your character is, the DM can just adjust what kind of stuff they throw at you
sure. to
make it count. And so what you'll have are characters who they can't really do anything but like their little handful of things. And I mean, back in like a point buy system, it'll be like just on the extreme, everything will be in the negative, but your dexterity is like at Dritz levels of high.
Right.
And it just kind of takes away the concept of some folks it hurts with character building sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like my character is just dexterity, nothing else. They don't talk, they don't this, they don't.
Right.
Strength. And I don't know, it's just not fun.
Yeah. Basically, it's, I mean, like, min-maxing in itself isn't necessarily, like, a bad thing, you know. It certainly has some negative connotations because it can end up being a bad thing when that player is in that mindset. But the idea of, like, just wanting your character to be good isn't a bad thing. Often min-maxing is put in a negative connotations or negative terms because it does often relate to the kind of munchkin players who, you know, are only in it for stats and to roll dice and to be better than everyone else and so on and so forth. And, you know, but no, I have the +5 sword, you know. Usually, you know, if someone's like min-maxing and stuff like that, they might not be so interested in the role play, more interested in like the rolling and like I say, an emphasis on being the best or being better than others. Generally, I don't find it a fun way to play. I've never cared for numbers, full stop. So, caring for D&D numbers seems doubly pathetic for someone like me. Like, I can't care about numbers, let alone D&D numbers. Right, it makes sense that they, you might want to play a character who's good at something, so you want to make sure that their strength is high. It's good at fighting, strength is high. Going to take the athletics thing, not a problem. Some people enjoy that side of the game. Has a lot of negative connotations due to a lot of bad examples, the kind of bad apples that make the the rest of the folks looked badly upon, I guess. As DM, do you ever lie about or resolve a dice roll to make a moment more exciting? Rem, fudging rolls.
Sometimes I will, or maybe I'll fudge the DC in my head.
Right.
Like I'll say, if they beat a this, or if it beats a this, then it was close enough to not being this, or it was close enough to being this that, they got it. Sometimes though I'll just roll it in front of everybody, and it that's what builds the tension. I found is oh, he's rolling it in front of the screen. You know, there's no coming back. You know, and I have like this big giant D20 that's like the size of an apple that I'll use for that moment.
Right.
Big long, boom.
Yeah. Yeah, and what Salami's saying, like having good stats doesn't make like you a min maxer. You know, like if like someone who's like really min maxing is someone that just like sacrifices for all else for numbers. Yeah, I'll fudge sometimes. It really depends on the game, the situation, the scenario, and the players, right? Oh yeah. In that case, Machine and you're playing with the wrong group is the problem. It's not necessarily a bad habit. Like enjoying something is never a bad habit. Not enjoying something is never a bad habit for me. Like it means that you're gonna like when you do find a group of people that have similar interests with you and mostly being interested in story and role play and stuff like that. Then you have a fantastic time, you know. So yeah, I myself fucking hate combat. You know, like I dislike combat, and therefore I play with people who tend to enjoy the story role playing aspects as much as I do. Do I fudge dice? It's sometimes some campaigns I will, most campaigns I won't. Usually they're all on screen anyway, so you know I won't fudge them because chat will be like, look, no, it's a 25, it's not a 22. So you know I'm already being given away, or like you can like watch the stream, or whatever. Dumped all mental stats for strength is another. Yeah. 8 is a sign. 8 int. Yeah. But sometimes I might, if they're like newer players generally, right? So like if I'm running a first game for a player and like, I've accidentally killed them, you know, just like with 1 or 2 rolls or something like that, yeah, I might fudge here and there. Generally I like to keep it fairly straight. It depends, you know, on the situation. If it would make it more exciting for whatever reason, then usually I'd probably do most things to make something more exciting. You know, if like it really is fudging a roll or something like that, then yeah, because story and cool moments are cool, and sometimes that can be more cool than just, you know, just like sticking to a dice roll. So yeah, I'm chill. Sometimes, mostly not, but you never know. You never know. I don't hate combat, I just prefer social encounters. It's good to have some people who focus on the combat in the group so I can hide behind that when the people screwed over the social encounters come get me. Sounds like a good balance. But my ranger can't politic at all, so the other players will shine on that side of things. Oh, strength is my dumb stat at 12, my range, and I feel bad for the rest of the party because I dominate combat. I mean, yeah, it is give and take. Like, that comes on the like both sides of the screen. So like the DM has to be responsible for making sure that there are combats to like challenge the players who aren't good at combat. There are social encounters to challenge those who, you know, are not good at social encounters and so on. So that's, you know, that's my job when I'm DMing to think about that. Yeah. Have you seen any good tutorials for Roll20 when it comes to setting up the maps, enemies? I remember searching once Roll20 map tutorial and I clicked on the first one and that seemed to be good. I do have a couple of Roll20 tutorials myself up on the YouTube channel if you're interested in taking a peruse on that. I get bored when there's 2 full sessions of just role-playing and no dice rolling. Also get bored during a combat that takes 4 hours. Yeah, I think that's the case of most players, right? Although I could play 24 hours of not rolling a dice and I'd probably still have as much fun. You know, maybe I'll challenge myself to play on an actual 24-hour stream sometime.
No dice D&D.
No dice D&D. I've done it before, you know, with groups when rolling dice actually becomes very like it's actually a very arbitrary part of the game itself. Like that can quite easily be stripped away.
I always find out to tell new people, don't say, can I make this check, can I make this fight? Just tell what it is you want to do in the game, and I'll say if you need to roll dice for it. You know, I want to listen at the door, or I want to this. It's always, like new folks will always, I want to make an athletics check to move it. I would just say you want to move it. For all you know, it's not heavy.
Yeah.
And that's like a neat thing I've always had to take new people and kind of steer them away from is forget about dice. If you got to roll it, I'll tell you.
Yep. Exactly. You know, can I make a check? You know, I want to be doing this. Do I have to roll? You know, the most annoying thing as well is when they roll and you haven't told them to, And it's just like, why have you done that? And then they're like, I rolled a nat 20. It's like, well, fucking fantastic. Like, fucking fantastic. Nothing happens. And that happened once, recently, like a couple of weeks ago. I think it's like maybe on Imperator, and and it's another thing, the pet peeve as well. Not pet peeve, not to rag on Josh or anything, but like, someone asked a question, like, can I do this sort of thing? And Josh was like, yeah, roll a perception check and you can do that. And I'm like, Josh, you'll play it. Like, no. Don't stop saying it. And then they rolled it, and they rolled in at 20, and they were like, what do I see? Like, I see it all. And I'm like, no, you don't see fucking anything, because I haven't told you to roll. The only time that you should roll is when I've said so. Yeah, and that was. Oh, actually, no, it was a West March game, I think, on a Thursday. I had a newer player, and she didn't realize that she wasn't actually meant to be rolling it, so she ended up doing it anyway. Oh man, fucking hell! Now I've got to explain all this. I'm the anti-will. I love alignment and plates, and think it could be an interesting mechanic if done right. Because if for 24 hours straight combat, I would rather do terrible things to my body than ever look at alignment again. Calling it now. 6th edition, there will be no alignment. Calling it now. Because you know why? Because by that time we'll be working on development team for Wizards, and I'll fucking destroy it, okay? I'll fucking nuke that shit from Earth. I will make sure. That's basically the end game for me, end up getting some kind of job at World C, and then just destroying alignment. After I've done that, after they printed it, I'm out of here. This is all just one very long journey to godhood for me, which is destroying alignment.
The long con.
Yeah,
that's the
real
con
long
you're
con.
going to. Long con.
Oh man. In Netherlands, it's called, if translated literally, rule fucker. Wait, what are we talking about? Rule fucker, I like it. Oh man. It's a confusing concept. So open to interpretation, so it's hard to generalize it into such specific categories. In fact, a group of mostly new players I DM4 didn't even mention alignment or let the character choose an alignment. It's blank on their character choose. Yeah, I agree. Same in the beginner's play. Never once brought up alignment, never once questioned it. It's not on their character sheets. Or if it is, it's just randomly generated ones that, from the sheets. Yeah, I mean,
because then you have to explain it to them. It's
right.
Like, okay.
I have to explain something which makes no sense.
It's pretty much like, well, the lawful, neutral, chaotic really doesn't matter. Are you a good guy or are you a bad guy? Well, you're you, so you're a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Might you have just slightly irritating. Yeah, I imagine in 3.5 it's more of a thing. In my games it serves absolutely no purpose. There's no purpose to alignment in my game. Any of the games I've run. When I DM in a group of new players, how do you go about to find a good balance between the amount of combat and roleplay in one session? How has it changed from when you were newish DM compared to now? It's a good question. I started DMing 10 years ago, so I was 10 years old when I started DMing. I think I was much more combat focused when I was younger, and I've become much more story oriented now. How do you find a good balance? You ask them, what do you guys enjoy? What do you like? Do you enjoy... You can usually tell if someone's like super into like the numbers and the rules and stuff like that, or then they've been reading up on feats or something like that. That they might be into that. You can straight up ask them. That's what I generally do. That's why I do the beginner's play. Right, on Mondays we do a beginner's play game where if you're new, then they come along and I've been kind of training them, as it were. But I asked them, what do you guys like? Mostly like story. We do a bit of combat every now and again to kind of flex the muscles as well. Yeah, I'm 20 years old, 21 in June. Yeah, but finding a good balance, if it's all combat, it gets very sluggish. If it's all roleplay, it similarly can get quite sluggish as well. So, I tend to go for like a 3 social 1 combat encounter, or a 2 social 1 combat, or a 4. I mean, you can find your own balance. Really, Highlander, it's kind of a thing that you'll find yourself with your group and your own vibe, and how much you enjoy doing certain things. How's it changed? I think, yeah, like I say, mostly from a lot more combat to more roleplay stuff, as I've matured from a 10-year-old. Rem, what about you? Only a little bit. I mean, like, a touch. Rem, what about yourself?
Let's see. I found if like, I know like on the stream, I've got like that 3-hour slot to fill out. Combat really fills up time. on online streaming. I found that out just like, because I was trying okay, I got this. Wait, I can just do this little bit and have a fight go on. And my God,
trick of the trade, yeah.
That's why Ellen DeGeneres dances on her show all the damn time. It eats up lots of time.
It's true. I mean, if you need to end out a session, you've got an extra hour, an extra 30 minutes or so. Then yeah, you can get the hell out of there. Get some combat going and kill some time. So yeah. What about how have you changed in any ways from when you first started?
When I first started, it was very much more of a board game. When the first time I DM'd, there wasn't any of okay, we're not taking turns anymore. It was very much like, okay, now fighter, you go. And I had that little map set out, and he would move his little miniature over to this thing and see how I look at it. It's like everyone would always take the turn for kind of like the board game, because that's
right. Yeah, kind of like war games and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think we had started playing HeroScape, and then we bought D&D just to use the minis from it to make our own HeroScape guys. Then we said, let's play this D&D game. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely nowadays, as I of course do like to break out the minis
every now and again, yes.
But sparingly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I take me back to when I was a kid and doing. Yeah, you literally had to have a tavern model for there to be a tavern, yeah. But I think that's because, you end up seeing things quite literally when you're a bit younger, whereas then, your brain starts actually working when you're older. Sometimes.
It's funny because it's the total opposite of anything else here about kids and adults. When you're young, you have to have it all laid out there in front of you. But when you're old enough, you can use your imagination and get lost in the world.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Because there's so much shit.
I'm ready to be an adult and play make-believe.
Yep. Slimy's talking about being a rules lawyer. Loves being a rules lawyer. Love looking at rules and how mechanics of the game interact with each other. Deciding on a fair ruling for the book doesn't have a clear answer. I don't know why rules lawyer is a negative connotation. I think people use the term rule lawyer to describe a min-maxer. Okay, let me get this question from Rose and the question from Damon as well. If you Google rules lawyer, let me show you what the answer comes up with from Wiki. Also making the Spy Master James for following a gentleman and a scholar. The wiki term is: a rules lawyer is a participant in a rules-based environment who attempts to use the letter of the law without reference to the spirit, usually in order to gain an advantage within that environment. So the reason that there's a negative connotation is because there are a bunch of dickbags all over the world that have been rules lawyers. Go ahead.
Sorry, that leads my buddy. He has a younger sister who just finished the bar exam for being an attorney and all of that.
Oh, cool.
And so he once got a hold of her and all of her lawyer friends and said, "I'm going to put all these lawyers in D&D."
Oh man!
See what happens. And sure enough, he found out their whole thing is if you have the circle of the rules that you follow, they get on that edge and they just stay on it the whole time, because that's what they're training to do is find loopholes, find how high along the edge can we take this without going over the line. And he said,
right.
My God, was the biggest rules lawyer. It's well, they're all lawyers.
They are lawyers and they are reading rules. That's funny. I mean, over the course of history, there have been the course of history, the time of history that has been throughout. There have been a bunch of people, and generally they are not the kind of person that is looking to actually do something for the good of the party. Usually, from what I've seen from people who I would describe as rules lawyers, are people who are looking to gain that advantage for themselves or for a player for whatever reason. And it becomes very annoying when you become second guessing a dungeon master. That's why they have a bad reputation, because it becomes annoying for someone to be second guessed all the time. And there is no second guessing when it comes to the DM. The DM might be technically wrong with something. I have been wrong 1,000 times with D&D, and yet, weirdly enough, I am always correct as well. And I've played with players or DMs who have been technically wrong, and I've known that they're wrong. And you can mention that in actually the rules this is what it says. but at the same time, they are always correct. Yeah, as a rule, get over mistakes and perfect play. Exactly, yeah. And that's the type of games that I like to play. Fake the dice hard for following a gentleman and a scholar. I'm not saying that rules lawyering is bad. You know, I'm not saying that isn't, like, valid, that you want to look up rules, you want to get the fair rule. That's perfectly valid, especially in the situation where it comes to, like, PvP, for instance. I think in that case, then rules need to be followed quite strictly. Or, you know, if it's a matter between life and death, then hell yeah, you know, check out that rule for what death saving throws do, for instance. Or if you're rolling that 20, what actually does that mean when you're rolling that 20, actually? It means you get up on 1 hit point and can take an action. But, you know, maybe you want to play that, your DM wants to play that as actually you're stable and fine, or you can take an action next turn. It really depends on how your group plays and how your DM plays. But I know most DMs will get triggered or like a little bit annoyed or just peeved in general if someone's continuing to second guess them, or like, actually, you know, there's this page here. Definitely never going to help anything. But I played the rules lawyers. You know, I've played with people who like have been very beneficial to the game, to the party as a whole, reminding newer players of rules. You know, that's something that's very useful for a game. You know, if I'm playing with beginners and there's one experienced player in the group, that doesn't mean that that person is a rules lawyer. Usually, they are helping out that player, right? You know, remember, you can do this. You know, remember that this is a thing in the game, or this is a mechanic. If you move here, you're going to take an attack of opportunity. That's something that players always forget about and is always useful. I similarly, like Dice Hard, love rules like systems. I'm very much going with the flow, going with the flow, bro. Eating some czar. Fuck me. Is generally just kind of, let's go with it, let's make it up. I don't have 5 minutes to waste. Do you have 5 minutes to waste looking this up? No, I don't. Most people, when they're referring to the term rules, maybe you should find a different term for yourself, Salami Tactical. Maybe you should find, I'm a rules barrister, I'm a rules defendant, or a rules prosecutor rather than a rule lawyer. Because
rules bailiff.
Yeah, a rules bailiff. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, fantastic. Rather than a rules lawyer, because that term, that definitely just, whatever you say, it's never going to not have negative connotations. You know, like when people are saying that, they're talking about the dick bag. That's like, actually it's this. Actually it's this. Actually it's this. You can't do that. You can't do this. You have to do this. Actually you should do this because of this. That's really annoying. Rules lawyers tend to have that reputation just from, just a colloquial term. Rules enthusiasts. Yeah. Go ahead, Ron.
I think also it might be dependent on like what you have available to use, because I know in combat, I know if you don't like have like that grid out and like the minis, that
right.
and you do the theater of the mind thing.
Sure.
It's easy to forget some of like the hard combat rules they might have. Whereas if you set down the mini and see all the stuff like, oh well, there's all these attacks of opportunity that you can get from moving here, which you might forget about as
right.
the theater of mind thing.
Yeah.
That's just one thing I know that sometimes when the minis come out, I notice like the rules they go out as well.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I like to play as if everyone's had 2 drinks already. When it comes to D&D, when you're playing D&D and you have a couple of drinks and everyone's like way easier about everything. Like for some reason, everyone's like way more relaxed about everything. That's how I like to come at it. Yeah, it's great for when I need a rule reference. Right, yeah. It's always helpful to have someone who's knowledgeable of the rules. Having someone knowledgeable of the rules and like a good understanding of what the rules do and what the rules mean is always helpful for a group, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't roleplay and they aren't bad at stuff. They're bad at everything else. I use them as guidelines. I mean, yeah, it says, ironically enough, it says in the rules that all of the rules are guidelines, so it's like, we've written all of these rules, and then the rules tell you that don't listen to the rules, they fuck the rules, that's basically what the rules say, which is fantastic about D&D, and that's why it's fantastic. The rules themselves counteract the rules on every level, because you don't need them, I'd challenge you to play a game without rolling any dice, and I've really enjoyed games like that. We've told some great stories with none of us have ever rolled any dice before. Considering doing that on a show now to kind of talk about that and show how that could be done. And yeah, fuck the rules. The rules don't mean anything. The rules are like pieces of paper that a couple of people have come up with. A couple of dudes have been like, hey, let's play some games. Like, yeah, sure, let's make it arbitrary and less fun. Sure, yeah, okay. And then they printed them, and make loads of money of them. It's fantastic. But the rules to me are nothing more than things that are there to make the game kind of balanced and fun. But if you're playing with people who are balanced and fun, you've been playing in group for ages. Played plenty of games where I've never rolled any dice, and we've had far more fun and gotten more done as well. Which I might need to talk to you about when we send it an email. Yeah, for sure. If you say no DM, I don't accept your ruling because there's a little box in some obscure splat book says otherwise, and that's douchebaggery basically. What's up, Fighter Man? How's it going? In my last campaign, I decided to introduce a greater advantage and disadvantage for special occasions because when my players try to climb a cliff with only one arm, I tend to make rules up a lot when I think. Yeah, things that make sense basically. That's house ruling on the fly. Like, does this make sense? Sure, then we'll do it. Yeah. That's how we go with things. Hashtag not my DM. Yeah.
Hashtag not at my basement.
Not in my basement. Yeah.
Not in my mom's basement.
Not my mom's basement table. The rules. The rules are actually like anti-fun for me. On the most part, it means I have to do reading, which fucking sucks.
Worst kind of fun.
Yeah, which means I have to do reading, which fucking sucks in the first place, and secondly, maths, which fucking sucks even worse. The rules are shit. And they're not needed in games. But hey, they're still here, so, read them, have fun with them. But they're not necessary, especially if you're a new player, don't worry about looking at them. Have a look at them, but don't worry about them too much, People get super stressed about knowing those are rules. Doesn't fucking matter. What's your favourite direction an NPC has taken that you hadn't necessarily planned for them, or like players somehow interfered with their development? Rem, you got anything on this one?
Favorite NPC that, let's see, well, there was the, when, I decided at one point that this one NPC was going to be a ghost that was going to possess one of the party members and try to kill the other party members with this possessed party member. And one of the party members then, who was the ranger in the party, he'd been going through like his character and this other character have been having these arguments, and he finally decided after all this speculating that he's gonna leave.
Right.
Not like I'm gonna leave and do my own adventure, but like he's gonna just kind of leave and not be the dude. He's not gonna be the douchebag. I'm gonna do my own thing. Just storyline. It works with the story. So he steps out and he wants to make sure that he doesn't wake anyone up as he's leaving. So he puts on like his boots of elven skin, which add all this stealth stuff. Puts on his light gear, walks outside. Ghost gets him, Ghost possesses him, and then he starts going around the house. And I'm like, shit. This NPC that the party is pissed off has turned this player into an NPC who, because he made himself so stealthful, it's going to be very hard for him to wake anyone up.
All right.
And so I'm like, I need to start killing some NPCs off before I get to the party who is all asleep right now. And so that's how some NPCs that would have done stuff later end up just kind of getting the axe. So it's like it's like Game of Thrones with these NPCs. That's the one where Sydney's character's like adopted daughter was taken out.
Nice.
It was the pain was there. It's like there was plans for this one. Because you prepared very well for a stealth mission without me doing anything but taking over you and then using you.
Nice. It wasn't my NPC, but I was playing in the game, and my character became very attached to this kind of random NPC, female NPC. He ended up, like protecting her and looking after her and stuff, and then Mitch had to go and write a bunch of backstory. There was like the weird kind of like romance thing that never really happened between the two because they were like, they're two kind of awkward, and from like different walks of life and whatnot. And then at the end of the campaign turned out that she was now a goddess in the world, and we'd kind of like we'd gone down some pretty like dark routes of where the campaign is going, and now she is one of the existing pantheon in the Numenera Age of the Awoken campaign. So I didn't mean for any of that to happen, but I ended up taking a particular interest in an NPC, and I know Mitch didn't have that plan. He's talked about it before. She was just like an NPC who was traveling on a caravan with us, and then suddenly, all of this stuff, happens. Usually it's when, players become more invested with NPCs and you're prepared for them to get invested in, if that makes sense. So they're like, here's this random, stable boy. And then they're like, oh my god, this is the best.
He's our best friend.
He's our best friend ever.
This is the little kobold. People are going to adopt him.
Yeah, that guy's the best. I had it with one of my NPCs who was just the squire to a noble. Eventually ended up becoming a lord. One of the favorite NPCs of that group, and they fucking loved him. And then ended up owning loads of land and a major NPC in the game. So that was pretty funny. Yes, back to the rules. As a new player, I'm trying to learn all the rules. Are you saying that is not a good idea? I am. Yeah. I'm saying that you should know what you need to play, but reading the player's handbook back to back is a surefire way to never want to play D&D. I would never read the PHP back to back. I probably haven't sat down and read the PHP, like any amount other than like for rules references in a very long time.
Yeah. I've read it up into like spells. Because I was like, okay,
right.
edition.
Yeah,
what's all this about?
Good. Yeah.
And then spells, okay, I'm just skip all that. Just no need for any of that. I think I've read like how I just read all the races, characters, how that works. Then just the gear. I kind of it was more of a look see.
Yeah.
Not day one.
Yeah. I mean, you learn it on the go. That's the thing. Like, as you play D&D, you'll learn it. You'll make mistakes, and they'll get corrected, and then you'll learn it again. And you'll do it better next time. So don't worry about knowing all the rules. It's I don't know all the rules, and I sit here basically every day of the week, and it's my job to play D&D, and to present a Twitch show. So, I I don't know all the rules. As a new player, you certainly don't need to. You certainly need to, know what role-playing is and have an idea of your character and know the basic mechanics of Dungeons and Dragons, and that's literally all you really need. How to roll a dice, what is a proficiency bonus, how to make a character, what stats mean, and so on and so forth. And the rest of that will get explained to you as you play, as your DM will remind you of it. And your players will remind you as well, and you'll watch it. I read a PHP back to back because I can't open a book and not read it cover to cover. It'll irritate me. That sounds like some serious OCD. I couldn't do that. I could not read a PHP, man. It was so boring. Oh, it's giving me a headache. I can read books, interesting books.
It's like reading a manual.
Yeah, it's like a how-to. It's fantasy, so there are parts of it that are interesting, and reading about the setting stuff, and some bits of it are interesting. But yeah, it's like reading a how to turn on your television, how to create a desk. It's really not as interesting as you might think it would be. After having read a few editions of books as well, they all become very flowing into one. Use the PHP for reference, or don't even use the PHP at all. Just use D&D Beyond or the Roll20 SRD, or I don't know. Just make it up as you go along. Whatever you do. That'll work for me. Any more questions, guys? I think we've gotten through the next batch here. We're going to have 20 minutes of Q&A, so if you do have a D&D question, feel free to fire it away here. You've got 20 minutes. This is your time, my friend. And of course, if you haven't followed yet, go ahead, hit that follow button, and join us. Our goal for today is 30 followers, and we're only 3 away. So if you haven't joined us, go ahead and do so. Tell a friend. I have bad OCD of stupid shit like that. That's weird. Don't use the PHP. What's a PHP ever done for us?
Oh, right.
I don't know.
It's just a book with words.
It's just a silly book with some bits of pictures on. God. I only use the D&D wiki. That's the best resource. Or get the free rules online, more seriously, for free. As a DM, my bullshitting skills are my greatest weapon. I agree with you, Mishima. I agree with you. The ability to bullshit is the most powerful weapon in the Dungeon Master's arsenal. To make shit up, as we're all doing most of the time, yeah. On subbing Rip. If you were a race class combo IRL, what would you be? Well, I'd be a human, obviously, because we're humans. And I would be a bard, I think. What would you be, Rim?
I'd probably be like a dwarf druid. Just like old Dirt Ferguson.
Dirt Ferguson, you mean Dirt Ferguson?
I just go with it.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? Except without the getting blown up inside the turtle head.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. If it wasn't human, I don't know.
I know. I feel like I'm pretty human. I'm like pretty average in almost every way. So that's kind of like human. That's kind of like humans in D&D, right? You know, I'm maybe like a half elf if I was going through like an angsty teen phase where like being human wasn't good enough. You know, I got to be a half elf. You know, failing that, I'd be a drow ranger. It's like I'd piss everyone off, including myself. Fireman 97. Fighter 97 man, rather. How should I handle having the old musket and flintlock pistol in my campaign? If I don't want it to be super common, but I want it something my players can come across, then have it being on like a boss creature or a quest reward, something that they get. It's hard to come across, but it's very
maybe like a wand.
Yeah, like a wand. Yeah. If you weren't actually wanting to be like a flintlock, then you could just rehash it, you know, as like a magic wand or something like that. I mean, you could make it a magic item. So think about it like a magic item. You know, this gun is really good in this game. You know, it's super rare, so I'm going to limit its rarity to being that of magic items in my game. You know, yeah. So that's how I do it, you know, or limit it only to, you know, powerful creature or like a powerful, you know, like pirate captain that they have to kill in order to get this one flintlock gun or 2 or 3 flintlock pistols that are in existence along like the coast, or maybe it's from like a foreign place, and they have to can only get it from that place if they travel, or maybe it's just, you know, incredibly expensive in order to actually obtain one of those items. So, you know, you can limit access by monetary costs as well. You know, costs loads of money, or the powder costs loads of money, or there's not a lot of powder. I don't know. Plenty of ways you can limit rarity on things. I introduced some early guns in my campaign for a PC who invented new weapons and is trying to sell them. So there was only one person to get them from. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, only one person in the world to get them from. They can't always easily get to that person. That would make sense. What's up, guy? How's it going? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, so that's a couple of ways you can limit things. The one thing that you have to bear in mind as well, like, even if you give them like 10,000 gold, you don't break the game with gold. Gold is one of like the easiest. Like,
yeah.
Gold is one of the easiest things to.
I wish there was more stuff to do with gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, gold. It's like everyone wants to get the gold and keep the gold, but
right.
Like, what are you gonna fucking do with it?
Kind of pointless.
Yeah. you just keep it all in your pockets.
Yeah, he's like, why are you keeping all that shit on a donkey? You got a bank anywhere, and what's it even useful for? Yeah, especially in like low magic worlds where players have very little to do.
Yeah,
with gold. But the thing with gold is, if you give them 10,000 fucking gold pieces, like, shorten it suddenly all of the items. You know, it's wartime now. A piece of bread costs 100 gold. You know, like that's, you know, real life economies. Like if you look at like Germany, what, in the 1920s. Then, you know, hyperinflation is a thing, you know, so yeah, people are like shoveling, like, that's actually like a D&D party when people in like Germany in the 1920s like shoveling these huge amounts of money through like carts and stuff like that. That's the only way that like players should be able to carry around gold, really. But it's like an actual D&D fight. I should find a picture of that and like like when you're looting all the gold. It's the caption. Warwick Davis will take it down in your face. That is true. I have 2 Warwick Davis mugs, one of which is currently captured a fly underneath one of my Warwick Davis mugs. Fun fact, just over there. Exactly, yeah. How do you AFK to make dinner and such? How do you do your plays by virtue of playing so doggone much? Have learned a lot of the early to mid creatures in the monster manual. How often do you reskin things to smooth things over? Yeah, I reskin things all the time, you know. Makes things exciting, makes things interesting. Like, it costs you nothing to reskin something. And, you know, it doesn't break anything to reskin anything. Like, it makes perfect sense to reskin things. It's a similar mentality when DMs are like, I have to have a specific creature with a specific stat block for this thing. Similar to how some players will be like, I have to have a specific homebrew to be able to play this character. You really don't. You know, a goblin could be a lizard man. It could be a human or a gnome, or, you know, a ton of different things.
you could also just get inspiration from, or just new monsters from like Volo's Guide, or the Tome of Beasts is another great source for new monsters if you actually want stat blocks for them. I reskin things all the fucking time because I get, I can't be bothered to like relearn new stat blocks and stuff like that. Once you know a couple, it's like, all right, we got this. Let's just go on that kind of basis. What about you, Rim?
Yeah, I reskin all the time. Especially the little back with the NPCs, like NPC bandits.
Yeah.
I've said, I think before, the bandit captain, NPC block has always been the big bad guy at the end of like a camp or something like that. It's just
sure.
The players won't know, especially if.
Yep.
It's just they won't know.
Yeah.
They're stupid. They're dumb.
They're dumb.
And you're smart because you're the dungeon master.
You got all the keys. You know all the math. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it saves you so much time, and can save you money as well. Homebrew stuff as well. Get inspiration from other like homebrew things that you've looked at. Switch around ability scores from all right. So I've got a goblin. I want it to be a something else, like a bulk creature. I'm going to take something from like the hag and put that ability score in there, or that ability that she has into my new creature. You can homebrew stuff all out the wazoo. Give it resistances that like a fire elemental would have if you're making a fire elemental. That kind of stuff that makes sense. It saves you a lot of time having to fiddle about and find a unique fucking like stat block or whatever, and helps you get creative with the creatures that you're making. And Slaughtermelon is the way to go. Go ahead.
I was just say put it in your campaign.
Oh yeah, if I can do it. I have not reviewed Tales of the Yawning Portal yet. No, I think it
is that out?
I think it officially comes out on April 4th, right? But I heard a few people have had it, mostly from game stores, I think.
Yeah, game stores, they usually get like a couple of days ahead of the brick and mortar stores get before which I think is cool. Let's see.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I'm gonna check in tomorrow and see if they have it, but
April 4th is the release date. Some stores probably got the sneak peek. Yeah,
most likely. I haven't reviewed it yet, but I will be reviewing it as soon as I have it. Looking forward to it, I have to say. A local, I mean, the other thing as well is like America most likely gets it first, and then probably Europe and the rest of the world, England. Because fuck Europe. So most likely I'll go check in tomorrow, see if they have it, and if not, I'll just wait until they have it. We'll see. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Yeah, feel free to fire them in. We'll do a little quick fire round if you have any thoughts, feelings, emotions, questions for us. Pretty excited. Of course, new features I'm running, guys, are exclamation point challenge. You can challenge another player to a duel. There's the arena as well, which is a free for all. You put in 100 gold, winner takes all. And we've got new features coming later in the week as well to keep you guys twiddling your thumbs. They're also going to pre-order. I mean, if you pre-order from your game store, then I think you get it. I don't know if they'll be stocked. I don't know. Who knows? I'll go and check tomorrow for you guys. See if they're stocked in the UK for anyone in England. Rad Nomad asks, do you enforce any level of party diversity? Only one character of any class? Or race to party? That's not a question, Rakam. In your games, or do you just generally allow your players to play what they want? Have you ever had players of the same class race at odds of each other because of overlapping roles?
Yeah, actually, I like it when they try to do like an all of the same race or all of the same class, because it makes the players, they'll find ways to differentiate their characters that are beyond a race class. Like they'll like kind of dig deeper into their characters, and just it's like if you made everyone, let's say, okay, guys. Well, it's like the Ninja Turtles. Right. They're all turtle humanoid monks.
Or Power Rangers.
Or Power Rangers, or any kind of like these like teams you watch on TV. But why is Leonardo different than Donatello? Who's different than Michelangelo? Different than Raphael? It's because they're not. I'm a turtle monk. It's I got a backstory, guys. Right. Raphael is crude but cool.
Yeah.
But Michelangelo, he's a party dude.
He's a party. Can't go there. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I tend to enforce more in that they do have a diversity, and the reason for that is that when they come up to scenarios, they each have their own unique thing to do, right? So the rogue goes and sneaks, the wizard does the arcane shit, the fighter breaks open the door. That way, then they can all feel like they're doing something unique and different. But when they are all the same, it can be quite fun. I've run a lot of one-shots with stuff like that, where they're all playing like the same thing. You know, or you're playing kobolds, you're all playing, you know, sorcerers, wizards, whatever.
Harry Potter, they're all wizards.
Harry Potter are all wizards, right? You know, still interesting and different. You know, that being said, they could definitely struggle against some opponents, but do fantastically against others. You know, if you got all wizards, if somehow they get surprised and there's a bunch of, you know, invisible creatures that just jump up around them, then they're gonna get fucked most likely. But if they can fight from range and they can do loads of AoE against a ton of goblins, then they can fuck them. So, you know, there's a couple of things that you can think about that. K-Balls ate my Bobby. No, that sounds great. I lost my train of thought now. Just worth bearing in mind that the balance of the game goes all sorts of askew when they're all playing the same thing. So balancing encounters can be interesting when that happens, but a lot of fun. But as a full campaign, especially if they're new players, I'd probably say that they play the different things. They get their own like feel. They get their own, you know, you're a special elf person. You're a special thingy person. You know. Whatever. Considering a real more serious type game, which view decisions turn off. No. That's what the podcasts are for.
No, we just few decisions. We just tone down what the dynamics are for it.
Yeah.
Instead of what happens, it's they open the chest. What magical item is in there that could help?
Right, yeah. Yeah, the view decisions themselves don't make games silly. Look at Numenera, look at Call of Cthulhu, and so on. They can be worked in pretty easily. The podcasts are for more, you know, dark themes. I was thinking of a half halfling and a half dragon character. What traits do you think they would have? Something. Something to do with I don't know how that would work anatomically. They might have the lucky trait still.
Yeah, maybe like a lucky. It's just like a gold dragon. It's got like a lucky gold coin.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a tough question.
Depends on the, I guess the dragon color or chromaticness, whatever.
Yeah. One of my friends wants to play as a mystic, but I don't trust him with any homebrew because all he ever does is manipulate stats to have the most OP stats ever. Yeah. The fucking the mystic is pretty OP, I think. Honestly, Fireman. There's a review of it on YouTube. Where a bunch of fanboys seem to love the mystic, but I think there's a lot of things that are wrong. There's a lot of things wrong with the mystic, and I think it can be manipulated. If he's a kind of player who would manipulate stats and, you know, the mechanics to his own kind of desire, then it seems like a mystic would be one to avoid there. Why do you need a half dragon when you already have dragonborns? I mean, they might be a fucking dragonborn halfling. I don't know. Could just play a short dragonborn, really, couldn't you? Probably get you most of the way there to what you're looking to achieve. Most of them have Takama, so the power games evolved to come play 5e. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it does cater to an older edition of players, lovely and that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just weird because it doesn't feel like a lot of it doesn't feel like a lot of 5th edition vibe, whereas 5th edition is just very simple and easy to play. A lot of Anavta kind of seems very complex and so on. So it's a little confusing, I think, to look at as a new player. But yeah, I don't exactly know about a dragon question, but I don't know. Take some of the stats from one. Yeah, Slime Girl, a Dampier, or Mary Sue. I've got the
Mary Sue.
Yeah, that's a good question. Dwarves are Scottish, but they could be French instead. Nah, no. Hashtag not at my table. Dwarves are Scottish. French are dead. If a French accent were existing in traditional fantasy, it would be an elf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Acquisitions Inc., it's drow that speak with French accents.
Oh, really?
They made like the drow woman, and Chris Perkins starts speaking French. And so, that's what they speak. so she will play and all this kind of stuff for the drow lady. So that's
a blue ooze girl. Yeah, fuck me. Everyone kills the French. Yeah. Hashtag not my DM. Thank you to Darkest Star Angel for following as well, a gentleman and a scholar. What would be a Welsh accent? A Welsh accent. Wheels. From the valleys. Maybe a dwarf. Maybe it's quite
Hill dwarf.
Hill dwarf. Yeah, Hill dwarf.
Yeah. Mountain dwarves are
Scottish.
Yeah, halflings as well could be Welsh because that's like
yeah. Wheels. Yeah. Half elf. Yeah.
Or Irish, or Irish. I keep thinking, Mr. Frodo.
Mr. Frodo. Yeah. Mr. Frodo. They go like deep northern Irish. Mr. Frodo. Please save the ring. Try and save the ring, Mr. Frodo. Maybe like Mr. Frodo.
Frodo.
Mr. Frodo. Let's go here. Like,
I'm gonna go Australian.
Australia.
Good day, Mr. Frodo.
Good day, Mr. Frodo.
Hello,
Hello, Frodo. How you doing, mate? Good to see you.
Crikey.
Put another halfling on a barbecue. How's it going, Sauron? If all of the orcs are just Australian.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
What Canadians be?
Oh man, Canadians are extinct because they've all apologised for everything. Oh man, dwarves are always Scottish for me. Scottish. Oh, I like full Billy Connolly, you know. Something like that.
Cockney people are half orcs.
Yeah. Yeah. Or generally, like city dwellers always go, or goblins for me. Goblins always sound like this, you know. Goblins are always slightly. Yeah.
They're trying to like scam you.
Yeah, you don't trust them. They sound all nasal and weird, you know. Yeah, can't be trusted. Of all the many platforms that you can RP on, which one is your favourite and why? Twitch.tv. Or more seriously, Roll20.net. Roll20.net, easiest, fun to learn, free. There's no competitor. Cockland Landon fan, yeah. Dwarves are from Glasgow, elves are from Asia. Oh, okay. That's interesting, yes. They're kind of pairwise elf. Yeah, I guess. What is that? Elves. Who is Scouts? I know all of the Scouts have been destroyed by the rest of the races on the world. Irish could be like gnomes. I could see like a halfling, you know, kind of like that leprechaun type luck, you know, for those kind.
I know, like in World of Warcraft, all the gnomes had like they're like that really like Midwest American,
right?
Like super white guy. Hello there, how are you? Kind of.
Yeah, howdy, yeah, hi.
Yes, hello there, everyone.
Yeah. It sounded like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Yes, it's Kermit the Frog here. Kermit the Bullywog.
Drow or Russian for short? Duh. Hello. Down in Underdark. Dark is under you. I don't know. Yeah, Drow just seem like teenagers. These are both Geordie accents. Ugh. Scary. And then generally, like anyone from like the Far East or like the like desert worlds tend to come out in a kind of tend to be played as like Arabian sort of voices or like middle of Far Eastern voices. Yeah.
Like you're like the Tabaxis or you know the Khajiit.
Khajiit. Yeah, you always go for Khajiit voice with Tabaxi. Yeah. Khajiit has ways if you have coin. Yeah, Barovians are Russians, it's true. Obviously you can't tell the player to play a certain character, but are there any like easy races for beginners or ones that aren't too confusing? Yeah, humans, elves are okay, dwarves, can't go wrong with halfling. Pretty simple.
Yeah, like the main four. That's always good, like the common races.
Yeah. Pirates, yeah. It's a pirate's life for me. You see, lads, rules are more like guidelines. Yeah,
I always go like Mr. Smee if I'm doing a pirate. Like,
really?
Captain, you know.
No, I always go to my Barbossa voice. A whole bushel of apples. Aye. But yes, here there be monsters. But unfortunately, looking at the time, looking at the time, my friends, it has gone past our appointed hour here, my friends. So we've been naughty and we've stayed too long. Oops. Tips working on new voices. Practice them when you're drunk and you don't care that you're sounding weird. But yes, we are going to have to head off for tonight's show, everybody. Hopefully you have enjoyed today's show. If you did, of course, please hit that follow button and join us. We're back tomorrow, which is Monday for the beginners play D&D. So if you like this kind of beginner-oriented focus on content, then stick around tomorrow. Starts at 1 p.m. EDT. We're back to our usual schedule, everybody. 1 p.m. So stick around for that. Rem, where can we find you online? Rem?
You can find me here on Sunday afternoons and on Twitter, which is at Insomniacs Inc. It's spelled like that. Just look to the left, it's spelled like that. Yeah, that's where you found me.
Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Well, guys, thank you
easy to find. I'm not hiding.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow. And, of course, until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones, because we want to be here laughing when you do. Enjoy, everybody!